Lubbock Matadors are all about partnering with local businesses and investing in the community.
Being a local business, it was really important to us, not only to support Dustin and his family, but the Matador Soccer Club.
Three, two, one, ready, ready, set, go. Ready, ready, set, go. Set, go, set, go. Three, two, one, ready, ready, set, go. Three, two, one, ready, ready, set, go.
If you spent all day grilling and no one bothered to save you a burger, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Biscuits and taquitos and breakfast on a bun. Those are just a few of the things you can make a part of your morning routine at Whataburger. Then again, with so many choices, you could make a routine of not having a routine. But would not having a routine still be a routine? Chew on that for a while. Whataburger breakfast, just like you like it.
Getting behind the team, etc.
So, I know you're right. Like, if we average 5,300 fans a game, we would be like 11th in the USL Championship League. In between Vegas and Tampa Bay.
That's big time, dude.
Yeah. But, like, how are teams able to move up? You know? Can they move up?
I'm more curious as a casual. I mean, I've looked into it now, but like playoff. I know they put out that video today of how it's gonna work.
Actually, I didn't watch that. I need to watch that.
It's good.
Joe, did you watch the coaches show? The player.
This is the first time I didn't watch it.
The player. No, it's on my phone. But the player on there, the rapid fire, fantastic player.
Okay. Do you remember which player it was?
Let me look it up. I was watching
Yeah.
it.
One of the Japanese players.
Okay.
One who's not a regular on the
Oh, it's probably
Hirokawa, Kotaro Hirokawa, or Kode Kobayashi.
not Kobayashi. Honestly.
yeah, it's Hirokawa. Samantha's like, "Can I see you?" It's like, yeah, woman, you have the media badge. Come on.
Like he's live up top.
Hey, Dad.
Do you have a headset yet? Do you have your headset yet? Okay.
this past week. Don't miss your opportunity. Back on comms yet? Taylor, are you in the broadcast? Take your marketing to the next level? Go to the agency that helps you reach your goal! Wonder Tree, the official partner of the Lubbock Matadors Soccer Club. Learn more at wondertree.com. Well, they don't give anybody immediate permission to go out. Like next week. And I've got books. We're going in. Hopefully we'll get permission. We'll get in and all that. And I said, well, I told him I had, when I bought that Hall of Fame pass, that included tickets to the enshrinement ceremony. I'm not going to. I said, I've told those guys, I don't know what to do with it. It's all written up, but I said, maybe y'all got a cruise, you don't have tickets, or I'd give you those tickets if I figure out what they are. I said, they're going to go early. They're actually going to the game. They're going to go to Wednesday and go to the game Thursday. I said, well, we're not coming in there till Thursday evening. We're not going to go to the game. I appreciate you putting that stuff out there on the back. I think we got to get early. We got a round table. Round table on Sunday morning.
It's been a season of excellence for the Lubbock Matadors, and that season continues on tonight, but this time it's the postseason. John, we're talking playoffs.
Playoffs?
I know it. Devin Ward alongside John Bocanegra. They brought us back for another round. And, of course, the amazing crew at Lubbock Cooper. We couldn't be on the air without them. Because, John, you're a production guy. You understand everything that goes into doing these games.
You don't
and
just
we can't do
turn
without them.
the camera on.
No.
And I'll leave it at that.
A lot of cables. Wireless gear, too. It's quite
Oh,
impressive.
yeah, this is awesome.
Speaking of impressive, look what you're wearing there tonight, John. Look at you.
Shout out to the Mozos. They made me an honorary Mozo tonight.
Yeah.
Represent. I feel like I got knighted, too. Just walked up. They waved me over.
Uh-huh.
I did the kneel. Tied me up. We're good to go.
Yeah, you know, the sword
Oh,
on each
yeah.
side,
It was
right?
like, there you go.
Honorary Mozo. Speaking of the Mozos, they painted an awesome sign. It's a dry heat here in the Hub City. North of 100 degrees here tonight. Weather will be a factor tonight. Of course, United Express does all of the hydration breaks, and we'll probably be seeing a few of those tonight.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But with it being 100 degrees, that means it's like 115 out there on the turf, and so these guys have got to be out there hydrated and ready to go. But for the first time ever, we're burying the lead here. The Matadors are in the playoffs in their second season as a club. They take a huge leap. They go from being on the outside looking in to becoming one of the hottest teams in the NPSL. They're ranked 3rd in the nation, and they're getting ready to host their first ever playoff game. They're the 1 seed in the South region, and it's been pretty special.
Oh, man, this season has been not even a roller coaster ride. What's like easier than that?
You know, like when you go to those roller coaster parks where it's, you know, just the easy
This
ride.
nice cruise.
It was definitely not one of those wooden roller coasters where it's like
Just clacking around.
and then
No.
you get off and you got a bruise on your arm. You're like, what is that?
No, that's not to say, though, that this season has been easy sailings, though.
Right.
They've had adversity. They had two 1 wins, but they tested their mettle in the last 3 weeks of the season, clinching the #1 spot,
Right.
winning the Lone Star Conference. And I think we're going to see, we heard it earlier today, everything is 0-0 now, so this is a whole new mentality.
Right, and for Coach Paul Gilbert and this team, it's all about leaving a legacy, right? Taking that next step as a club has happened, but now what are these guys going to be remembered for, right? The legacy of who scored the first goal in the playoffs. You know, did you win in the first game of the playoffs, right? And so these guys are dialed in and focused, and we saw that 2 hours before first kick. Some of the guys were down there on the field listening to music, getting in the zone.
We saw it. It was admirable, actually. Just looking how focused, laser focused in everyone was.
Yes.
It was good to see. And then the locker room, just the atmosphere there. There was tension last week in last week's home game. It's even more so now. This level is stepped up.
Absolutely, and that's the way you want it. You want them to be dialed in. You want them to be focused because, right, it takes tremendous effort to get to this point. It takes a great team that's continuity is there, and man, it's been so much fun to watch, and they're dialed in and focused for a team that they've already played once this season. Corinthians FC from San Antonio's here in town. They had a pretty great year. They're 6-3-2. They're a team that's continuously making the postseason. But these two clubs have already met once this year, John, and it was kind of one-sided when they played.
To say the least. It was 5-1 in favor of the Matadors, but again, records out the window.
Right.
You don't care about any of that stuff. The mentality today, execute what you're supposed to. We'll get to the keys to the match here in just a little bit. Execute what
keys.
you're supposed to and come in with this. Yeah, we've beat them before, sure, but this is a whole new game now. This is a whole new season.
I think you got to flush that down the toilet, that 5-1 game. And that was just 24 days ago, back on June 17th. The two clubs faced in San Antonio, and like we kind of alluded to, it was a one-sided affair with a 5-1 victory for the Matadors. But that's in the past, past the past. The playoffs are now. It's win or go home. I believe, what was it, Pete Christie says, win and you're still in.
Win and you're still in.
Lose and you're about to snooze.
Yep, that's what
I
he
thought
said.
that was a great line, and that's the truth, right? If you lose, you're snoozing. You're heading home. You're getting back to your respective colleges, and so you're going to see a team that's going to be giving their best shot on both sides, and that's going to make this match even more fun.
I think what makes it different this time for the Matadors in particular is that your roster has changed a little bit. You've seen lineup changes throughout the season, but the continuation of that is your depth. And depth is in bunches, plentiful tonight.
Right, and depth will take you a long way. Of course, you got to have great players, but man, when you have great players on the bench like the Matadors do, we were writing down the roster for tonight, and there's been 4 players for the Matadors have to return back home to their colleges to get ready for the season. But when you look at the subs for tonight, you're like, man, he's still here, he's still here, he's still here.
Yep.
You got some great weapons in your arsenal, and I'm excited to see what the Matadors do. The stat of the night for me coming into the game, John, was that the Matadors have had 11 players score goals this season, and they still have 2 players in the top 10 in scoring in the South region. And so that tells you there's depth, there's a well of talent that could put the ball in the back of the net. But at the end of the day, they have some people that can put a lot of weight on their shoulders and make some big plays happen when they need to.
It's great having players that lead the league, lead the conference first of all, but with the most teams in this conference, the Lone Star Conference is one of the biggest in the NPSL.
Right.
But to lead the league, that's tremendous. And especially having a multifaceted attack, too. Who are you going to defend? I said this last week. Who are you going to defend? Who do you key in on? It's a team effort. You don't know who's going to score at any moment.
Right, and like in many other sports to compare, right? In basketball, if you're playing Steph Curry, you're doubling Steph Curry.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as he gets across the halfway line.
Yeah. But the Matadors, they got great players across the board, and you can't isolate some player because another one is going to go make something happen.
We've seen attack through the middle. We've seen attack from the edges, crossing the ball in. You don't know how it's going to set pieces, corners. You don't know how they're going to score.
Got some comments coming in. Jimmy Bocanegra saying, let's go Matadors.
Hey.
And Jonathan Thomas saying, let's go Matadors. We'd love to hear from all of our awesome fans. 44 tuning in right now. Some breaking news tonight, though. We are going to be on multiple platforms for the first time. We're going to be on YouTube, of course, as you're watching here right now. But at 7:30, we're going to welcome in a new audience for the first time this season, so 4 minutes out. John, why don't we break the news to our awesome 44 fans that are tuning in right now?
Hey, that number needs to be higher, first of all. Second,
We'll get it there.
that's great. All avenues of, we got streaming, we got a connected app, we got TV.
We're going to be on TV today.
Oh,
man.
yeah, this is going to be awesome.
That's when you know you're getting big time, whenever your TV stations are wanting to broadcast your games.
Oh, yeah. And it's with the buzz that has developed behind the team with obviously winning will do that. But
Right.
just the community, too, the outreach that the Matadors have had in the community, players going to volunteer events, hosting summer camps, being a part of the local media just adds even more, I guess, how do I want to say this?
Excitement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's throw that word in there.
I have a lot of excitements in my pregame run-through for tonight.
I actually had to delete a lot of them out of here.
I know. So John and I share these, and we were working at like midnight last night together on these, and I got some cheese in here for tonight. You better be. We're watching tonight, and share the link, like, subscribe, do all the things, because we want to hit 300 tonight. That's the goal, 300 comments.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Or not comments, subscribers.
Subscribers.
Yeah,
like,
subs.
subscribe, tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
Put the stream out there.
Let everybody know. Looking at another comment, West Texas Wilding saying, let's go Matadors. Let's get this W. It's going to be, there's not very much separation. Even though the Matadors are the 1 seed and Corinthians FC of San Antonio is the 4 seed, there is not much separation between these two teams. There's a lot of great talent on both squads, and I'm eager to see who's going to elevate themselves tonight to be able to get the victory.
You said it earlier. I passed the eye test watching Corinthians FC players warming up. These guys are massive, so they have size to their advantage. That's not one of the keys to the game, though, but they could exploit that.
Absolutely, and that's what I had in my pregame notes. Let's take a look at this. The Matadors, even though they're a new club, they're only in their second year of existence, but these two teams have faced each other. This is now the third time. Back last year, May 21st, 2022, Corinthians came to Lubbock and beat the Matadors 4-0. Remember broadcasting that game and thinking how big and how physical Corinthians was, and look at them here. It's basically the same. Of course, we talked about that match a little over 3 weeks ago, the 5-1 win, which means this is round 3, and if you're thinking boxing, most of the time this is the knockout punch, right? Well, maybe not in round 3, but for tonight it's the knockout punch.
It's the rubber match? It's a rubber match.
Yeah, it's the rubber match.
Yeah, it's the rubber match.
But somebody's going to get a knockout punch. I'm going to keep saying that tonight because whoever gets hit with that knockout punch is knocked out of the playoffs.
Win or go home. Lubbock, a lot on the line.
Oh, and a lot on the line for Corinthians, yes.
A lot on the line, too.
Absolutely. Chris Huff saying, let's go San Antonio. Chris, love to see that you're tuning in.
Hey.
Yeah, I love either, all the teams and all their fans. Let's go Luke Jones, do the UK proud from Torres. I believe Luke Jones is in the starting lineup tonight, and we will get into that a little later on in the broadcast. But let's get into Corinthians FC a little bit. Their last 5, John.
Hang on, Devin. We got a minute.
Oh, we got a minute, so
we're about to jump into the local broadcast.
Yeah, this is something new for us, y'all, and I hope you can tell on the broadcast that we're really excited for it. I'm gonna have John let me know whenever it's go time to switch over to that. Of course, Corinthians' last 5 has been a win, draw, win, loss, win. So we'll talk about that coming up. Of course, last home match for the Matadors, over 5,300 fans were in attendance, broke a new attendance record for the Lubbock Matadors, and they're hoping for something similar to that tonight. Is it officially 7:30?
Let's do it.
All right, we want to welcome in our new fans that are tuning in tonight to the first broadcast on local television here in town.
Oh, yeah.
We're always streaming on YouTube, and that's where we are as well tonight. So make sure to go follow the Lubbock Matadors on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all the things. But for our awesome fans tuning in on My Lubbock TV and, of course, I believe the My Connected app.
That is correct. Connect the TV on TCBD.
There you go. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's super special that you're welcoming us into your living rooms and letting us be a part of this awesome experience as we broadcast the first TV game as well as the first playoff game here at Pirate Stadium. Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd feed off of that a
Yeah,
little bit.
no, I got you.
But we were previewing this match. The Matadors getting ready to take on Corinthians FC of San Antonio. Kickoff at 7:30, supposed to be, but I guess it's not happening at 7:30.
We have some festivities going on. First kick usually doesn't happen until about 10 minutes from now, so we're good.
Maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
7:50 is what
we have
I
a
would
lot of
guess.
special guests tonight.
We do have a lot of special guests. Texas Tech basketball head coach Grant McCaslin's going to have the first kick tonight, and I hear he's going to be bringing a lot of Red Raiders out here for this first kick.
That'll be awesome.
And that will be awesome. Of course, he's the first-year head coach coming from North Texas, and we're excited to see him lead the Red Raiders this upcoming season. They got a big addition lately, too, and that's brought a lot of buzz to the program.
Oh, you got me at soccer right now, but basketball season, that's where I thrive.
Right. So we were getting ready to preview Corinthians as the Matadors. They're a second-year club here in Lubbock and have been doing some great things, breaking attendance records, averaging over 4,000 fans a game. It's been sensational to watch with some great fans, and we'll get into that. But I want to talk about the visiting team tonight, Corinthians, in their last 5 games that they've been to, John. They've been
Win,
playing
draw,
pretty well.
win, loss, win. 2-0 against Central Texas. They drew with West Texas FC. 3-0 against CF10, the Houston team. Lost against the Heat and against Laredo, and then had a little bounce-back game, 3-0 against Austin United. Finished 4th in the table, and that's why they're here right now. They showed the grit. They didn't leave it into anybody else's hands. Won the last match of the game that they were supposed to, and then they're in the playoffs. And you see the 1-4 matchup tonight.
So if you're watching on My Lubbock TV right now, excuse me, and I'm sorry for cutting you off there, John, and you see us looking at our phones, it's because we're also streaming on YouTube, and we love to interact with our fans. And I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the game.
I like to think we're the best at it.
At interacting with the fans?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so we interact with them on YouTube. It's a live comment section, and we're so grateful for each fan that interacts with us and loves to have fun, because that's what we're up here to do, is to have fun, to interact with the fans, because without the fans, we wouldn't be up here being able to do all these games. And so I will get to those comments in just a little bit, but we're doing our pregame show right now where we preview the game that's upcoming, and so we'll get into those comments in just a few moments. But head coach of Corinthians FC is Manuel Angel Vargas. He was hired back in May of 2022. His overall record as the head coach is 13-6-5. And I got to do some more research on their home stadium. I love doing that.
That's his favorite thing.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, and if you're just joining us on My Lubbock, Devin's all about the research.
Yeah, we were up till like 1 or 2 in the morning. I was up till 1 or 2 in the morning. I don't know when you checked
No,
out.
I was watching game film, so I was just seeing what Corinthians was all about.
And you did a lot of homework on that. They run a 4-2-4, right?
Yeah, it's an unorthodox. I'll get into the formation stuff later.
Okay, but we do want to say this is a new experience for the Matadors, and only their second season. The bar has now been surpassed, John, and this is from your notes here. Lubbock outright winning the conference and now testing their medal in the Lone Star Conference. Is that the right word you put in there?
No, test your metal, yes.
Okay.
Not the metal like the actual material, but like what you're made of. And Lubbock has proven throughout the season 2-1 wins, very close games. They've had onslaughts where it was 5-1 victories against Corinthians being one of those victims. But it shows to how deep, from the top to bottom, and we've said this before, from the coaching staff all the way down, that every person knows exactly where they're supposed to be. They know how they're supposed to be contributing. And even if somebody has a minor role, let's say, it doesn't matter. The team all across the board has that same mentality, and they've proved it this entire season.
It's a professional club from the inside out. The way they operate things, they want to be the very best of the very best in the NPSL, or the National Premier Soccer League, in which they play in. And it starts from the owner with Hitch down to the GM with Dustin McCorkle, which we'll hear from him at halftime today. He's going to come up here and chat with us. And then it bleeds from Coach Gilbert down to the players. And it truly, these guys embrace the professionalism part of it. And I think that's why they've taken that huge leap as a team, because they're a cohesive unit that gets after it. And when it's time to train, they train. When it's time to suit up, they get after it.
And with the lineup changes that we've seen, training ground has a lot to do with how the lineups are actually shaped. With this team changing so many different lineups, having all these different looks, but keeping the same mentality, I think that shows how dangerous Lubbock can be.
Absolutely. And the mentality that the Matadors have coming into tonight's game is legacy. That's something that Coach Paul Gilbert has talked about a lot in front of us, is what kind of legacy are these guys leaving? What kind of imprint are they going to leave on this club, this organization, for something for the future? Because when you think of legacy, you think still 20 years down the line, man, that guy did that. Do you remember that? That's a legacy, and that's what these guys are wanting to do this year, is do something special and make a legacy. And so that's their mindset, as well as 0-0. Every team is 0-0 right now.
We talked about that pregame, too, with Coach, and the mentality moving forward with this match tonight in particular. We're not worried about Saturday. We're not worried about any other games that are going to be happening later this month. Tonight is what we're focused on, and it was laser focused in. The mentality was good. We talked to the assistant coach as well.
Yes.
Everything, training ground all the way up until warm-ups today, nice mood. The vibes were immaculate in the locker room.
And rightfully so. They're fresh off of winning El Dustico, the most coveted trophy in all the
Oh,
land.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
El Dustico, if you don't know, it is the trophy between the two teams, West Texas FC from Midland, Odessa, and the Lubbock Matadors. They went to battle here last week, and the Matadors lost that game 1-0. But when they went, and it was heartbreaking.
Stoppage time.
It was in the 96th minute.
Fantastic.
The goal went in, and the adrenaline was pumping the entire time, and that's what you want to see from these games, and that's what brings fans back every week, is matches just like that. But then they followed it up by going on the road to end that doubleheader that they had, and they won 4-2. The goal differential is the reason why they're coming home with the golden tumbleweed, and we'll have that trophy up here momentarily. But that can boost the team again. I know you don't like momentum, but man, that can boost the team's confidence and
I was waiting
get it
to see
going.
how long it was going to take you to mention that.
It's still the pregame, and I already said it.
We haven't even hit official time yet.
Right.
But no, to that point, the vibes have been immaculate, only because the spirits have been high throughout training in the entire week. And with the win, you lost one at home to your rival. You go on the road, beat them in their home in spectacular fashion at that. And then you come into this game thinking, okay, we got it. We know where we're at. We've had lineup changes. We know what we can do.
Absolutely, and you got to tip your cap to Pablo Diaz. He has been sensational. There was an injury to Marcus Krogstad. He will not be playing tonight. Still battling a knee injury, and we wish him the best. Usually, I don't, because he still hasn't had it completely checked out, John, but knee injuries are never good.
No.
And so we wish him all the best. But Pablo Diaz has elevated his game. He was sensational for the Matadors last year. He became more of a substitution, and John would call him the super sub coming off the bench.
That's what you call it, super sub.
And the super sub scored 2 goals on the road last week, was the man of the match, and he has really played well. He's a spark plug for this team, and you know where he's at on the field all the time.
Intensity is what got him where he's at right now, too. And you've seen it just attacking down the line, funneling the ball into the middle of the field when you get into the attacking position. A spark plug.
Absolutely.
To say the least.
Another player that's been a spark plug, or maybe not a spark plug, the Great Wall of Lubbock, rather, is what we've been calling him on these broadcasts. And that comes from Sean Dillon. Thank you, Sean, for that great nickname. Is Sam Gomez. He was recently named to the NPSL June Team of the Month for goalkeep. And that tells you how great he is, because there's 94 teams in the NPSL, and he was named the goalkeeper of the month for all 94 clubs.
It's immaculate. There's no reason why he shouldn't be on that list, first of all. Second, when you see him play tonight, you'll understand being in the right position, calling out everything in the back, letting the guys in the backfield and midfield see everything up the field. He's just a great team leader, great execution by that man.
Right. So right now we're live on My Lubbock TV. We're also live on the Lubbock Matadors YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment with us. We love to interact with you. Some of the comments that I saw in here that kind of just looking down, Matthew saying, what time is kickoff? They say 7:30, but they have a lot of pregame festivities. They got the Mozos marching in, which is a great fan group, and we'll talk about that throughout the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
But they also allow youth soccer teams to come out and be out there with the team, and so there's a lot of stuff that happened pregame, and so you get to hang out with us until first kick. But first kick's probably 10, 15 minutes away, I would say.
We're not terrible to hang out with anyway, so we're all good. Speaking of the Mozos, they made me an honorary – I'm now officially a Mozo now.
Yeah, I was a little jealous. But,
I'm sorry.
But what I went with, John, in that moment, when he crowned you an official Mozo.
He knighted me. Yep.
He did. It was one of those moments. I was like, you know what? It looks good because he's wearing the white shirt with the red. The red wouldn't blend in with the red.
I
so that's
unintentionally matched them tonight. The Mozos, for those that don't know, are one of the best spirit squads that we have, leading the chants from minute 0 to minute 90 plus. They're in it the entire match, and that's wonderful to see.
No, it is, and it's a fan group that is led by fans. This wasn't a thing for the Matadors. These are fans of real soccer, and they know what real soccer games are supposed to feel like. A few of them went to a lot of MLS games. I remember you telling me that, from like the Portland Timbers to other teams.
Portland, Austin, Seattle, just from all over the country.
And so they know what a real soccer game is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to be like an atmosphere and being loud. And when you're at a soccer match, an MLS, and even the Lubbock Matadors, there is chants and cheers and bands going the entire match.
It's in bunches.
It's beautiful.
And I say in bunches, and it's the entire match. You get the whole bundle there.
Right. So going back to Sam Gomez, I've been saying holy goalie all day today because, man, he's been great. But the numbers don't lie. And I'm a big stat guy because numbers don't lie, right? The goal differential to me, there's one stat that always sticks out that is a telling sign that you're a successful squad, and to me that's goal differential. This season the Matadors have been solid week in and week out in that specific statistic, and it's them sticking to their principles and doing what they do best, kind of like what John was talking about right there. But coming into this match, the Matadors have given up 8 goals all season, scoring 36. That's a 28-goal differential. That's big time, and that's why the Matadors are 10-1 right now.
When you have a player that's solid at the back, too, it allows your midfield and your forwards to kind of loosen up just a little bit, play with a little bit more vigor, not having to worry about, oh, no, I have to track back all the way, or making sure that your midfield is tight to keep the form back in the back.
So going to some of the comments, again, we're on My Lubbock TV tonight, and so we want to let our audience know that. But we are also on the YouTube channel, and that's our signature, right? We read the comments.
I think that's how people know us the most.
Mostly by YouTube, yeah. Lee giving us a great compliment, saying we're better than the West Texas broadcast.
Hey!
Yeah, you know, as their rival, we'll take it.
I'll take it.
We'll take it.
They do a great broadcast, though, too.
They did. I watched that. I watched that from Two Dogs the other night. Whenever my stepdad was playing live music out there, and they had the game on in the inside area.
You had good tunes, you had good drink, you had a good match to watch.
I had to go a lot of inside outside. It was because the my stepdad was playing outside, and then the game was on inside in the air conditioning, and so it was.
You just kind of gravitated more to that.
Well, no, because I love listening to my stepdad, and so I was like a 50-50 mix.
Oh yeah, I got you.
It was 50-50. Going to comments, Caleb saying, Amozo watching from work tonight.
Hey!
Oh, man, we'll be screaming and chanting from the lab.
I'm one of you.
He is. So, as you see down there on the field, though, the guys are slowly starting to come out. You see them getting ready for tonight. Of course, Coach Paul Gilbert and his team are dialed in and ready to go. One big difference between the Matadors, John, and Corinthians is the amount of games that Corinthians have played coming into this. Their legs are going to be battle-tested coming into this. They're going to be a little worn out. 4 games in 8 days.
That's a kind way to put it, too, but just the brutality of traveling takes it out of you, for sure. I mean, you've traveled across the state before. You know how that goes. But with as many matches as they've played, traveling, their schedule just being topsy-turvy on top of that, and having such a quick turnaround to get into the playoff match tonight, it might take a toll. But let's see Lubbock press the attack there. We'll get into the keys of victory in here in just a second.
Well, and one thing as I'm looking down there on the pitch, John, is that they brought depth. Most of the time when these teams travel to Lubbock, you look down there and they have 2 or 3 players sitting on the bench next to coach. And tonight, it looks like they have a solid 7, 6 players and 1 goalkeeper sub. And you love to see that because, man, that means Corinthians is all in here tonight.
We've seen, and I think the last stretch of the season, probably about the last 4 matches or so, we've seen more depth. Players building more, the rosters being fully complete. And that just is a testament to how the league has grown just with us watching this in the last 2 years.
Let's talk about the league, the National Premier Soccer League, you know. This is the league that the Matadors play in as well as Corinthians. It's the NPSL, and it's one of the largest established men's soccer leagues in the United States with over 90 teams. In fact, there's 94 teams, and they're continually growing. I guarantee you they'll be over 100 within the next year or 2.
I would think so, yeah.
Right. The NPSL is a member of the United States Adult Soccer Association and is thereby affiliated with the U.S. Soccer Federation. The NPSL has 4 regions, and your goal is to win the South region and make it to that Final 4. It's a unique playoff bracket the way this works, but if the Matadors win, they host. And so until they make it to that Final 4. So, but again, you got to take 1 game at a time. You got to win here tonight.
That's the mentality with Coach Gilbert, too. But I mentioned that the Lone Star Conference, the conference that both of these teams play in, 11 teams deep, was 12 teams, 11 teams deep.
Yes.
One of the largest conferences in the entire nation.
Yeah, there was a conference that if you go to the NPSL website, I lost track of their name, but they only have 4 or 5 teams, and it's the bracket that's right above the Matadors that has 11 in it.
And goal differential, I think, separates that. I think that's how they get into the playoffs, is just by goal differential. With the larger conferences that we have here, you have a small playoff, as we see the teams walking out on the field right now. but you have a small playoff, and this is detrimental to both of these teams. Win and you're in, basically.
Win and you're in, lose and you're going to snooze. I'm going to say that all night.
Shout out to Pete Christie.
Pete Christie said that. So this is the South Region playoffs, and the other notable games happening around the South Region or in the playoffs. In fact, there's 16 teams in the playoffs from the South Region, all vying to be in the South Region Final Four section of play. Playing next week, and after that, of course, it would be the Final Four of all 4 regionals. So right now you're looking at the teams getting ready to go out there and do their thing. Looking at some of the comments here on YouTube, it says, the guy in his Matadors hat with the drum is a whole vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of him, we talked to him pregame. He told us the story about how he got that hat, and we'll get into that right after the national anthem.
For the San Antonio Corinthians FC and your Lubbock Matadors.
All right, there's our national anthem. I want to thank an awesome lady down there for singing it. I don't believe her microphone was working for it, but we know she killed it because the fans were supportive. They were singing with her, and I got to see that firsthand. You love to see it. Of course, tonight our first kick is going to be with Red Raider basketball coach Grant McCaslin. And John, this is the weirdness in me, and I apologize to our fans that are watching. I Googled.
No, don't apologize for being this.
So last night at like midnight when we were doing our game prep, I was like, what are some similarities between basketball and soccer? Because he's out there doing the first kick. And this is what I found. 1, use a ball. Done. 2, when you score, it goes into a net. 3, Grant McCaslin's here, kicking the ball, first kick in the first ever playoff game for the Lubbock Matadors. You hated it, didn't you?
No, I chuckled when you broke that in there. I could see you live typing it too.
Oh, yeah.
That's great to see.
Okay, they said the audio came better at the end. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You love to hear that. You see the teams getting ready to get after it down there. We're about to see our first kick. And as we're getting ready for our first kick with Red Raider basketball coach Grant McCaslin, John, why don't you get into your keys to victory for tonight? Let's go for the visiting team, Corinthians.
Overwhelm the back 4. Apply pressure with the wingers. They play a 4-2-4. It's very unconventional for a team to actually do that. Most teams play like a 4-4-2 or something like that. But with Corinthians applying the pressure to Lubbock, I see that favoring them very well. Send bodies at the loose balls. Press away. You want to apply most of the pressure in the middle of the field, and they can do that with their 2 pivoting midfielders. Finally, do not give up set pieces. Lubbock can score, like I said earlier, pretty much from anywhere they want to. Do not give up set pieces, particularly with dead ball situations favoring how Corinthians plays their formation. You do not want to give up dead ball situations.
All right, and those are the keys to victory for Corinthians. What about for the Lubbock Matadors as I see Coach McCaslin down there moving towards the first kick?
isolate the midfield, turn CFC's pivots into liabilities. I was talking about the midfielders. With this formation, they only play 2 in the middle, but they do have some supporting players on the edges too. But turn those pivots into liabilities. Their second point, create 4v4s on the back line. You don't want Corinthians to start countering. This formation favors them for counterattacking purposes. Don't get more than 4 on the back if you're Lubbock. So keep that back line nice and tight. Control possession too, one of the final points for victory. You want to make sure that Corinthians doesn't get a chance to counterattack you, to keep the ball moving, to keep their pressure up.
Right.
That's the key to victory.
Great stuff there by our very own John Bocanegra. We appreciate that. More comments here on the... Oh, don't forget the story about the guy's hat. Yeah, you know what? I cannot forget that. He told me growing up that I believe his dad worked in a ski shop, and so he remembered as a the young kid that he had the hat. And when the Matadors were announced, he went digging and found the hat. And so, because I was like, man, my wife would love that hat.
What a find. My wife would love that too. What a find.
Right. Here's our first kick with Red Raider coach, basketball coach Grant McCaslin in his first year, leading the Scarlet and Black. Let's see what kind of kick he's got, John.
That's a great touch. That's actually a really great touch.
You thought it was good?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's your first kick. Of course, tonight our match is being presented by Mears Mazda Volvo, our streaming service. And we want to thank our friends over at Mears. If you want a great service, go check out our friends at Mears Mazda Volvo. Of course, as you hear there, it's game time as we're moments away from first kick. If you want to see an aggressive team that loves to attack and push the other team to their limits, the Matadors might be the team for you. They're going to want to play their players up and attack. They love to be aggressive, and that's who they will always be. They stick to their principles, and they have not changed since day one. And being with them this postseason.
The only change has been in the lineups, but like you said, the mentality has been the same from match day 1 to match day playoffs.
What a line right there. Match day playoffs.
Playoffs.
I do not know who the officiating crew is for tonight. I see that comment coming in through multiple times. Of course, if you are watching on My Lubbock TV tonight, as we are officially underway, playoffs are here on the South Plains. Matadors, Corinthians. Who you got? 90 minutes. Let's see who it is. Of course, we talked with Coach pregame. If this game is a draw at halftime, or at the end of the game, rather, there will be a 15-minute overtime period and then another 15-minute overtime period. Then after that, it is PKs to decide it. It is not golden goal. I know that was my question, and he said college is the only one that does that.
It is.
And so that is how overtime would work. As there's a shot right there. It's going to go over. Of course, your starting 11 for the Lubbock Matadors tonight, presented by United Supermarkets, is Sam Gomez in goal, Kode Kobayashi rocking number 2, Demetrius Leonglu rocking number 3, number 5, David Ambeck, number 6, Mitar Mitrovic, number 7, Aaron Asamoah, number 11, Stefan Moreya, number 14, Kitaro Hirokawa, number 16, Ethan Jiwo McNeil, number 17, Pablo Diaz, and number 20, Luke Jones. That's your starting lineup for the Lubbock Matadors.
Highlight for Mitar here, especially with the midfield being very thin for Corinthians. Let's see him take control.
Of course, we want to hear some of your score predictions on the YouTube live stream, as we will have comments coming through this entire broadcast, and you'll hear us read it throughout the game. The Matadors, though, has been playing in front of a great atmosphere all season long, John. Last season, that was a big piece to year 1, and it was an amazing game day experience. And here in year 2, the Matador fans have turned out every single home match. We had over 5,300 fans in attendance last week, and if the Matadors are consistently able to do that, which is going to be tough, but we showed that it was possible last week, right, John?
Oh, yeah.
It would have them right between the Vegas Lights and the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the USL Championship League, where they sit 11th and 12th respectively.
Shout out to the Rowdies.
Yeah, what an awesome name, the
That's
Rowdies.
That's a great name.
Of course, the USL Championship League is the second division of soccer in the United States, right below the MLS, with clubs in major markets like San Antonio and other big cities. That's impressive to see.
It's incredible to me, especially with Lubbock not really being a soccer town. Lubbock's West Texas, it's a football town. But this version of football, all the fans have been showing up, even with the rain out that we had. I believe that was 4 or 5 weeks ago.
That was supposed to be game 1.
Oh, yeah. And even then, you had such a big turnout with over 3,000 people here, and it was great to see.
Oh, you're talking about where it was raining all day leading up to that game. Yeah, no, and there was some concerns about how many would show up for that match. And you're right, yeah, there was over 3,000 fans in attendance for a game where it rained all day leading up to it and about 30 minutes before first kick. As I would say, you'd love to see it.
Of course.
You'd love to see it.
Lubbock's pressing the edges a little bit. There was a foul in the play there. A little bit of contact, though.
Of course, John and I debuting a new stat sheet tonight, and we hope
It's making it easier for us to keep track.
Yeah, are you keeping up with that foul right
yeah.
there? Okay. Lee Walker saying Luke Jones, man of the match. Matadors win 4-1. Y'all heard it here first. Of course, we'd love to hear some of those kind of comments in the section, as well as if there's Corinthians fans, we'd love to hear it from you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what makes it so fun.
We're all for the visiting teams watching the stream. Thank you for that.
Yes. So it's going to be a throw-in here for Corinthians. Of course, this season as well, the Matadors debuted a glorious new mascot named Notorious. He debuted, and it was an awesome way to connect the club with the community. And there's something there and important to having a mascot. I think we could all agree with that. Kids love them, players embrace them, and again, a cool way to connect with the community club. The name Notorious, that's a bonus, right?
That's a great name.
Notorious.
There you go.
I told you I'd sing on the air tonight.
Nope. I tried to stop him. Everyone I did.
He did. I apologize to my Lubbock TV viewers that are surprised
No,
from hearing us singing on here.
jump in on this. Jump in on the wackiness. It's not that wacky.
It's pretty fun.
Oh, that's a great through ball there.
It is, and Matadors getting back on the defense there.
Almost a little bit of miscommunication there, but the center backs, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's a foul on the play.
That's going to go against Corinthians. I believe that's their first foul of the game.
That is correct.
Of course, we did not get a starting lineup tonight for Corinthians. We went down there and were unable to get one.
There was a rush pregame, especially with the teams just being focused, going over the last-minute game plans, tactics. It's an electric atmosphere, even before people started filling in the stands.
Right.
That was wonderful.
And I'm looking at the stands right now, John, and it's looking a lot similar to the 5,300 fans in attendance.
Yes, it is.
The Matadors know how to show up and show out week in and week out as Gomez dives across and hauls it in. The Great Wall of Lubbock doing what he does best, John.
Where did that name come from?
Sean Dillon.
I know this, but I'm setting you up for people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sean Dillon with Rock 101.1 here in town. Has been all about covering the Matadors this season as a Corinthians player is down and grimacing in pain, calling for instant help. Yeah, it does not look good down there as he's grabbing his ankle. He went down weird, John, and man, he looks like he's in some serious pain.
It's not a dirty challenge by either of the players, just clean tackle, and it's unfortunate that he was injured in that play.
Right, as he hops back up.
Noticeable limp.
Might have won an Oscar, in my opinion, man. He was selling it.
Okay.
Well, no, and that's part of it, right? You're trying to get the call from the ref, and there was some contact there, and so I legitimately thought he was hurt.
It goes a little bit into the gamesmanship of how soccer can be played.
Right.
Obviously, not every team does that.
Great pass. Trying to get it out front to one of the forwards, but the Matadors are going to clear it out. I believe that was David Ambeck there.
Correct.
Ambeck has played a pretty big role this season for the Lubbock Matadors. He has one goal, and he's a 6-foot midfielder from Indiana Tech. He's been sensational for Coach Paul Gilbert here in the semi-professional ranks as well as in the college ranks.
The tactical awareness is what makes him such a good center back there. Getting the ball out to the edge.
Right. Says one of the comments here, John, saying that Corinthians is corralling the Matadors.
Just a little bit, except for that break right there.
Oh, Luke Jones fires off to the left.
Just it. Curse of the commentator. Curse of the YouTube commentator.
The YouTube commenter, yeah. That's the first shot of the game for the Lubbock Matadors. Just off to the side a little bit. I like that shot from Luke Jones. Of course, we talked about legacy in the pregame. Luke Jones will live on in the minds of the Lubbock Matadors forever. He's got his legacy cemented. He was the first ever Matador to score a goal for the Lubbock Matadors.
What a great honor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's something I would cherish forever.
There goes Corinthians with their counterattacking, mostly sending it over the top. We saw West Texas kind of exploit that in our last home match.
100%. You know, and that stood out to me from that match. And Austin United did that in their previous match against Corinthians FC as well. When I was watching the film back, Austin United was trying to exploit that.
They had limited chances. I believe they only had 4 chances, 2 of them on goal, but it's there to exploit. The bottom of the field, the left side for the players, is being exploited there. Luke Jones was there earlier. Diaz had a run probably around the 2nd minute. There it goes right there.
Yeah, great pass by Diaz. Ball in the middle, fires off the goal keep, And that's going to be a throw-in for the Lubbock Matadors. I like that shot right there, John, setting up right in the middle of the box, and they're quickly back at it.
Pressure in the top third, pressure from the touchline on the sides. That's what you want to see for Lubbock, especially with Corinthians not having enough time to settle themselves, get back as quickly as they can.
That's the first goal keep save for Corinthians. Of course, this is the third battle between these two teams. Second time here in Lubbock. Corinthians won that first battle last year in May of 2022, 4-0. So, you know, the Matadors remember that. They want to defend their home turf, but then at the same time, if you're Corinthians, you remember the 5-1 thumping that you received, 24 days ago.
It's probably one that you want to forget, but no, it sticks in the back of your mind. I know it's hard for teams to block this out.
We do have our Matador minute. There's a great block out there by McNeil, I believe, across into the box, and they're going to have to head it out. Maria trying to gather it back in, but Corinthians.
You want to see a little bit more control on the edge. But I was alluding to, yeah, you kind of want to block it out of your mind of, yeah, we played this team, we had a bad result the last time out.
They're going to let it play on.
Yeah, it's going to play on. But you had that result. You come off a terrible loss for that. But so I guess if you want to carry that into this season, okay, sure. The postseason, excuse me. But they come off a 2-0 win. They have good form too. Lubbock is also right there with them, of course, the number 1 in the Lone Star Conference.
Right,
but
number 3 nationally as well.
But for both teams, you don't think about that. Yeah, we had this result. If you're Lubbock, you say, hey, we can come in and probably score a couple off of them to be sure. But again, Corinthians comes in with, we know exactly where our weaknesses are, and we're not trying to duplicate that.
Seeing some more of the comments on the YouTube live stream. Our goal tonight on YouTube is to reach 300 subscribers. We're sitting at 229, I believe. And so if you can subscribe and like and share the feed, we'd really appreciate it. Of course, tonight we are also broadcasting on My Lubbock TV, and we're so grateful for that audience joining us tonight. Our first time ever having a game on TV, John, and that's big time.
Lubbock wants to make that a second on Saturday. Let's see.
Let's see. Let's see. Of course, John will be up here on Saturday. That'll be my first Matador game to miss. If that does happen, I'm grateful that they were able to extend their season. I will be my name's Devin. I will be absolutely devastated on Saturday.
Oh, man.
I'll be devastated.
You will. But you'll also be enjoying the vacation, so there's that.
Yeah, you know, as a teacher, you plan your vacations, and, you know, timing was kind of off this year for the Matadors. You know, as you take a leap with the club, right, you're hoping to make the playoffs, but did you think you would be able to host? You know, that's such a big thing right there. As Diaz loses it, it's going to be a throw-in for Corinthians.
Coach Paul Gilbert did talk to us a couple weeks ago about their goals they'd set for the season. Getting into the playoffs was one of them. Winning the league outright, not anything, it was on the board, but that wasn't the most important thing. Developing your players was also one of the other goals that they had talked about. And they've done it. All 3 points have been hit this season.
And so you continue, and when you have success like that, John, as you're talking about, you want to start stacking success, right? What is your next goal? Because once you hit your goal, you have to reevaluate your goals and set a new goal. And that might be something we follow up with Coach Gilbert on if they're successful tonight and able to beat Corinthians. Going to some of the comments here on the YouTube live stream. Love the kindness on here. There's some serious kindness on here tonight, John, and that's beautiful to see. Jay Garcia saying, just left work, be in the building in T-minus 5 minutes. Go Matadors.
Hey.
Going to another comment. Jennifer Dacey, my 10-year-old Orion, loves the Matadors. He also is a soccer player. Shout out to Orion. I hope I said his name. I hope I said their name right. Of course, we are in the 12th minute here in the first ever playoff game for the Lubbock Matadors. This is such a humongous night for this team and for this club, and we're grateful for everybody that's tuning in online as well as on their TV and the ones that are here in person, because, John, the crowd here is sensational.
I love every match that went on this year. You've seen more and more fans jump in.
It is every game. You're right. So who are the owners of this club? The Matadors are led by a passionate, committed ownership group that includes former Major League Soccer general manager, soccer entrepreneurs, and successful business owners from Texas Tech alumni and local investors who all love Lubbock. This team gives back to the community, and that's something they pride themselves, John, is that if they're not out doing something for the community when they have a window of opportunity, they're missing out.
The community outreach has been more focused on the kids than anything else. Yeah, sure, with a young club, you want to get your brand out there for sure. But it's just been all about the children, all about any cause that they've been helping in various causes throughout the year. And that's great for the community as well. And I think that's why we attach ourselves as fans to a Team Diaz on the edge there. Great pass to get in there.
Absolutely. Slides trying to keep the play alive. And that's going to be a foul on Corinthians. You see they're visually frustrated.
And you can hear it from the crowd, the cheering. And back to my point, you get behind a team that is behind your community, and that's absolutely what Lubbock Matadors have done.
Right. No, that's a great way to put that, John. I agree with that. Yeah, you get behind people that get behind you. I agree with that. Going to some more comments here, supporting from Ghana. Love to see that. Welcome to the chat. Brandon saying, "Vamonos Matadors." Got a free kick here, though, and I do want to say Gio McNeil is down there tonight. I hear a rumor that his dad, that is normally in the comments section, is here tonight. Flew in to see the game to watch his boy.
Oh, man, we should have got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were all over the place pretty good. That's usually how we do that.
Oh, John, look, they got one of those little trumpet-looking things.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
They use those at the World Cup.
A little bit of a slide on that free kick. His planting foot gave out a little bit. And you see the ball go right into the wall, and then we have this action here.
Right. You see, when you see these players battling like they are right now, John, you see the effort and the commitment that they're showing to be able to get a win here tonight. Crossing it is Luke Jones. I see McNeil ahead, but the Corinthians player stuck his leg up and was able to send it the other way. Great defensive stop. Otherwise, McNeil would have had a great shot there on goal.
1v1 situation, even though he gets behind the defenders, there's two in his area, but 1v1 with the keeper. That's exactly what you want in that situation.
Oh, his name's Orion. I apologize, Jennifer. Tell Orion. We love that he's a Matador fan.
That's a great name.
That is a great name. I don't know why I messed that up.
You're wearing many hats right now.
I am.
You're a statistician, you're watching the match, you're doing play-by-play, doing a lot.
Doing YouTube, thinking about My Lubbock TV and that great audience that's tuning in there. It's been a great time here. And John, first of all, I need to thank you, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
You've been stepping up and killing it in here.
I need to thank you. You're the one who invited me. Answered the call. It was more of a text, but I answered the text, came in, and we're just talking football, man. This is great.
Yeah. I watched a live stream not too long ago where they had a debate about soccer and football, and I'm all in on calling it football after that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, that's what it's been for me.
Right.
Most of my career.
Of course, John is the Swiss Army knife of soccer players. Did it all.
Started out as an attacker. Went back into defense. Played goalkeeper for a little bit. Loved the midfield, though. That's where my heart's at.
That ball's going to roll out of bounds. Corinthians coach visually frustrated.
It's physical, and it's going to be physical. We talked about the stature of Corinthians FC's players, not necessarily dwarfing Lubbock Matadors players, but you see the intensity and all the contact that is happening on the field. I think needs to be happening. I like to see that stuff.
Yeah, and then I think that's part of the game that's fun. And often overlooked. A lot of people don't think that it's a physical game, but this is a very physical game. There's checks, there's sliding tackles, there's
boxing out.
Right, and it's a dangerous game, but man, it's a lot of fun to watch.
The camera up here doesn't do it. The all 22 camera up here doesn't do justice of how fast these players are and how strong they are.
Right. Looking at some comments saying waiting for Douglas Apaya to check in for LBK. Yeah, he is one of the substitutes for tonight. Man, he is a ball of energy. You notice when he's out there, and he is a big part of the offense when he's out there. Passing it up ahead. It went off of a Corinthians player, and I believe that's going to be a Signature Stag corner kick. Of course, Signature Stag is your one-stop man shop, and this will be the first corner kick of the match. Jonathan, I agree. Yes, it's soccer is extremely physical, especially at the professional level. It is. And then there was a comment from Dom Campos saying dry heat. And that's the sign that the Mozos made in the other end. Let's check out this corner kick, though. It's a low kick. And it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be another Signature Stag corner kick.
Came off the foot, kind of weird there, but it was still a driven cross. That's what you want. Unless you're trying to block it, of course.
Here's the second opportunity. It's the back post off the head of a Matador, and will go out of bounds for a goal kick. I like that back post look there, John, because there was a player there for the Matadors, just a different angle on the hit with the head, and it could have gone in.
For those that are joining us on My Lubbock TV, you probably haven't seen the stream. Marcus Krogstad, one of the bigger targets Lubbock normally has in the top of the formation, not playing tonight, and sending it back post. You kind of want to catch the defenders a little bit. That is a hard foul there.
That's going to go.
But you want to catch the defenders a little bit off guard, especially with your biggest target not being on the field.
It's going to be the second foul of the match. That one goes against Demetrius Leonglu.
LBK chant.
Yep. This is the one that you see when they go celebrate with other fans, or when they traveled to Midland last week. 200-plus Matador fans in the post-game celebration doing the LBK chant. If that doesn't give you chills, man, I don't know what will.
I'm seeing more hands up stretched across going to the south end of the stadium.
Right, it's usually kind of near the Mozos.
Earlier this year, it's just stayed in that one section and slowly it has spread out. Love the Mozos.
Absolutely, and you can't replicate 5,300 fans from the last game, right? The energy that they bring and the importance to being able to host these home matches. It's a game changer for the Matadors.
First playoff game, I expected this energy when I walked in today. Lubbock's being hung up a little bit in the backfield here. We haven't seen more of the attacking opportunities we've seen from this team. Just trouble getting it out of the midfield, and they're getting attacking opportunities. It's just not enough by Lubbock standard.
Right, and there was a turnover there against Corinthians. Mitar Mitrovic really trying to get going there, but it's poked away.
Corinthians is doing a better job now, my 15-minute assessment, of keeping a build-up, a solid build-up, attacking from the back, intermediate passes through the middle. There's one across.
Yep, and it's right into the hands of Sam Gomez. That is the first goal save for him tonight. Of course, he's only given up 8 goals all season. Or is that his second goal save of the night? See, this is why we're both keeping stats. I appreciate that. Helping me out there. Of course, shots on goal is a huge stat in the stat category. But when you got a guy like Gomez, you feel pretty confident. But the sun is beaming right into his eyes. I don't know if you could tell. Is this something new here, John, that's happening in front of us?
It is. The crowd looks to be. Are they swag surfing? No,
that's what it kind of looks like.
They're not swag surfing yet, but they're swaying for sure.
Absolutely. That's pretty cool.
I like it.
I love Jonathan Thomas's comments tonight. He's really engaged. Of course, we love seeing all the comments on the comment section on the YouTube stream. And if you are watching on the YouTube stream tonight, make sure you subscribe, because this is the home of the Lubbock Matadors. This is where we've done majority of our games of this season, and we'll continue to so far. Of course, we do have a new audience tonight on My Lubbock TV. Man, when the GM texted me that, I was super pumped.
I got excited. I've never been on TV before.
You've never been on TV before?
Well, no, that's not true. I did a telethon when I was like 13.
Okay.
But no, hearing that too, especially with how big the reach is getting for the Lubbock Matadors, that was fantastic news to hear this morning.
Right, and it's the reach. Yeah, the reach is getting bigger. The Mozos megaphone is getting bigger, and you love to see it for the good guys.
I believe this is a playoff chant.
Is this one of the new chants?
I think it is.
You know, I was watching some of the stuff on the Twitter feed for Sean Dillon. Again, I can't rave about him enough for everything he's done for the Matadors and the coverage that he brings. There was a video of him teaching, one of the Mozos teaching the chants on the bus ride to Midland, and I thought that was really cool.
I hate that I missed that.
Yeah, they sent over 200 fans to go witness them win El Dustico in Midland last week, and man, that was really cool. And I bet there's a lot of NPSL teams. The average attendance for NPSL teams, John, is 500 fans. And if the Matadors brought 200, some clubs don't even. That. Yeah, some clubs don't even pull 200, and the Matadors sent 200 to Midland to go support the team.
That's fantastic. Again, jealous. I wasn't a part of that. I blame my brother for that. He was in town. I had to make sure that we were all.
Yeah.
He came out to the match last Wednesday. Actually, he had a wonderful time. My whole family did. It's just that kind of atmosphere here. In person, yeah, you can watch the games on YouTube and My Lubbock TV, sure. But being here, you don't get a vibe like that anywhere else.
Right. Michael Salazar coming in saying, it's your boy Mike. Let's go LBK. You like that?
What's up, Mike?
It's your boy Mike. Mike on the mic.
My 15-minute assessment for Lubbock, now we're in the 23rd minute. Not enough control for me. I'm just seeing the ball just kind of fly everywhere. Coach Gilbert has talked about winning those first balls out of the air. You want to see more of that tonight.
Stolen away by the Matadors. I believe that's Stefan Morea. And then poked away really quickly by Corinthians. According to the comment section on YouTube, the sway has been a Matador, a Mozos thing. It's still kind of new, but it's been a Mozos thing. Now they're trying to spread it like the LBK chant has spread it. So, some great insight there.
It's a good look. I was pleasantly surprised by how many sways we had out here.
Got distracted by the comments as Gomez has the ball here. Again, super grateful for everybody tuning in. And if you're wondering how the Matadors pick their colors for this season, I got all the answers for you. Of course, Texas Tech is here in town, and they are scarlet and black, but that is not the colors of the Lubbock Matadors. No, no, no. It is Toro black. It's as black as a charging bull's hide. The gray in the primary logo is Toro black at 90%. What do you think the color red is, John?
The blood that pumps through the fandom.
Oh, I like that. It's Matador red, but we can go with that. It represents the team's images of a raging bull. When a raging bull sees
red.
It sees that red. There's a new color that was kind of debuted this year when they did the whiteout jerseys as Diaz trying to push forward. And Corinthians is going to kick that out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in.
Great clearance for Corinthians there, preventing Diaz from actually getting the ball back into the middle. But you haven't seen enough of Lubbock exploiting the edge like that. After that. Oh, poor touch there.
Jonathan, I definitely, he talked about the Florida USL Championship team that he covers weekly, saying that the Matadors average more fans than them. Yeah, last time I checked, the Matadors, where they average, Jonathan, is they would be 11th or 12th in the in the USL Championship League in attendance, in between Vegas and what was the other team? Tampa Bay, the Rowdies.
The Rowdies.
Yeah, and so they would be they would be 11th or 12th. And so that's impressive to see how Lubbock has been able to turn out.
Lubbock's exploiting. The middle's a little bit more open for them. Using Diaz a little bit as a decoy just for quick 1-2s back into the middle. Turnover there, great defense by Corinthians FC.
You're seeing a lot of that right now, right, John? Both teams, not really getting on either side. They're stealing the ball as Asamoah pokes that one away and gets it to Mitar as they reset.
Great touch into the midfield.
I'm going to finish off what I was saying, though, about the uniforms and the colors that they have on their uniforms. This year they debuted the all-white kits, and it's beautiful to see. That was my favorite kit that they've had this year. They have a specific color for it, though. It's not just white or pearls or, what do you think it is, John?
Is it the whites of their eyes of the enemies?
Oh, you're going in on like this because it was the red for the Raging Bull.
Yeah,
it is Storm Cotton instead of Stark White. The Matadors went with a take on a cotton. Like if you're looking at a cotton bowl and you see a little dust on it, that's the color they went with.
I knew the answer to this.
You did.
That's all you know.
You saw the game notes. I love that you're feeding into this.
Yeah,
you're feeding into this. I appreciate that, as that's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Corinthians. So there you go. Now, one thing that has been that stood out all year, John, is how difficult the Lone Star Conference was. And the Matadors went to battle against one of the toughest conferences every game. Of course, in the Lone Star Conference, that includes former NPSL national champion, the Denton Diablos, and of course, many other talented teams like Laredo Heat, the Fort Worth Vaqueros, and then, of course, the 3 other playoff teams. Truly, this year was a battle every week, and yet the Matadors found a way to go 10-1, win the Lone Star Conference, and, of course, get the most coveted trophy, like I've said 100 times today, El Dustico.
I think one of the more memorable matchups was beating Denton on the road. You had the second Dustico leg. Lubbock won in convincing fashion, of course.
4-2.
I think the Denton match for me on the road, the Mozos, the fans traveling well, that showed what the team was about.
Yeah, and of course, fans, right? Fans come first, because without the fans, we're not here. And the Matadors know that. And so I believe the owner, or Hitch, paid for
2 weekends in a row.
All the tickets for them to travel to the game, and that's really cool to see.
You had the Denton match, paying for those tickets, and then going to Midland the weekend after that. Again, still jealous that
Loving all these comments here on the live stream, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. We've got a free kick here from the 35-yard line, which is 45 yards out.
Unless you have a steel leg, look for a cross here.
Yeah, going up in the middle and climbing the ladder like he does so often is Sam Gomez, as he gets another goalkeep save.
Solid hands. Sam's his range is ridiculous. He
Right.
could be about 5 yards away from him. He's going to find a way to grab it, or at least punch it out.
Yeah, and he's knocked out the final knockout punch a couple times this season in some really close games. I'm thinking of the 2-1 battle that the Matadors had recently here at home. It was in the last few minutes, there was some nerves that were happening. I believe that was against Austin United. He went up there, climbed the ladder, and punched the ball out to seal the win.
We've seen him save penalties, punches in the exact physical play level. We've seen punches, saves. I mean, he's done it all, and he's Player of the Month for a reason.
Yeah, he was Player of the Month for goalkeep in the entire NPSL for the month of June. That's 94 teams, and the Lubbock Matadors goalkeep was one of 94 to win that right there. Of course, the goalkeep for Austin United won it for the month of April, as there is a player down for Corinthians. A cross by one of the Matadors and gathered in by the goalkeep.
Hirokawa got on the edge there. You saw your passing lanes being wide open to allow him to get down the line and send the ball in. Not where you want it to be. Of course, you want it to be on the foot of the teammate. The player is down for Corinthians FC.
Yes, still down. Of course, it looks like there's going to be a hydration break. Of course, hydration breaks are presented by United Express. Go see them today. Appreciate everybody. And we also want to mention our streaming sponsor for tonight on our YouTube channel. It is Mears Mazda Volvos, Lubbock's locally owned luxury dealership. At Mears, you'll find the best inventory, the best process, and the best prices. Since 1971, our focus is to provide our clients with an exceptional buying experience. Go see our friends at Mears Mazda off of Spur 327. Again, we're going to stress this over and over again. We're live on YouTube as well as My Lubbock TV. And so halftime is going to be a little different today than we normally do on our broadcasts. We're going to be live throughout it. Normally we mute our mics and we watch what's happening down there on the field.
Take a little break.
Yeah, we drink some Gatorade, but not tonight. We're going to be up here with our general manager, Dustin McCorkle, and he's going to be talking all things that has happened this year, how the club has taken a huge leap in year two, and the awesome things that they're doing. So I'm excited to hear from him.
First 30 assessment from me, you want to see Lubbock get a little bit more possession. You've seen them get into the attacking third there, sending the ball in. You want to see it go into the back of the net. For Corinthians, you need more of a build-up. You want to see your passing lanes being exploited with the 4-2-4 formation. It allows their defenders to play more like offensive players. You want to see more attacking from Corinthians from the back.
Passing percentage has got to be pretty low for both teams. A lot of turnovers have happened in the first 30 minutes, and you're going to look to see them both try to clean that up probably.
There's a little bit of nerves, especially with this being the first leg of the playoffs here. Settle down a little bit. We see a little bit more of an extended break for some of the players there.
Right, as the Corinthians player is still down.
You want to see more settling down is what you want to see from both teams. It's a little bit sloppy right now.
As we see that player down, it kind of reminds me of the depth that the Lubbock Matadors have, and it's been insane to watch this season. When you look across the National Premier Soccer League, the league that both these two clubs play in, you see a lot of teams with just 3 or 4, just 5 players that have put the ball in the back of the net all season. But when you look at the Matadors, they're loaded on the offensive side. In total, they have 11 different players that have scored this season. And at the end of the season, the Matadors had 2 players in the top 10 in the South region in total goals. And at the end of the day, soccer is all about putting the ball in the back of the net, and the Matadors have been really successful at it this year. As of right now, it's still tied up at 0, but you got to feel like at any moment this team could get cooking.
You have solid defense in the back. Sam Gomez being in the net for you kind of lets you ease up a little bit. Apply that pressure, get to the front third, and make those shots happen. We've seen it right-footed, left-footed, set pieces through the middle, crossing it in from the edge, from the corner. They can score in every facet of the game.
I'm looking to see if there's a substitution happening for Corinthians, as the player is now on his feet and looking to get some air. That's number 23 for them, and we don't have a roster for them tonight, but we hope he is well. And if there was a substitution, substitutions are brought to you by Grease Monkey. There's no substitute for you or your vehicle. See a lot of USA chants going on in the comments. Love to see that. seeing it's USA again. Sam Gomez has been superb tonight, is what Seth says. And then we're getting some more comments here on who they think will win, and we love seeing those.
Get those in there.
Right, interact with us. That's the best part of these games. As Luke Jones has to turn on the jets to go get that ball, but was able to gather it. Trying to get fancy there with the footwork, and then there's going to be a foul on the play.
Great step.
I believe that is the 3rd foul on the Lubbock Matadors tonight. 4th. So this is why I got John here with me now. He's holding me accountable.
I got you. I wasn't going to say anything, but you did, so.
I did. No, I like that. You're holding me accountable. That's good, man. I need to be held accountable.
I can't let you get all the way with it.
Yeah, right. We got to keep the train on the tracks. Keep the train on the tracks. Got a free kick here by the goalkeeper. It's a pretty low kick, and Mitar goes up there and hits it. And the Matadors come away with it.
Better control there. Oh, threading the ball right behind the defenders.
Yeah, McNeil's really is running as fast as he could. He's inside the box and loses his feet. He was looking for a call and not going to get one there.
Throw in for Lubbock.
So it's going to be a throw-in for the Matadors. Stefan Morea has it and then passes it off to another one of his teammates. Again, this is the first playoff game in the history of the Lubbock Matadors, and even more special, it's being hosted here on the South Plains.
There's no place like that. There really isn't.
No, there's not. And to be able to secure the #1 seed with 2 matches left on your schedule says how great of a season you had, because the Lone Star Conference was so tough, loaded with a lot of talent as McNeil fires it and gets deflected off a Corinthians player. If that Corinthians player wasn't there, John, you might have heard me spelling out goal.
We're looking forward to that. We talked about no place like home. Corinthians having so many matches in the last couple of weeks. Not quite jelly legs for sure, but you certainly feel it.
Oh, absolutely.
The later stages of the game.
No, and yeah, because you need time to recover, right? That's part of the process as a player, as an athlete, is hydration and recovery time. And if you've played 4 games in 8 days, you do not have time for well, you have time for hydration, but not for recovery.
We talked about hydration and recovery.
As he's sipping on a Gatorade.
It's a dry heat.
It is a dry heat. And the Mozos, again, I think this is the 2nd straight match that they've had a sign over there in the visiting stands welcoming in the opposing team. That's pretty cool.
It's a little bit of gamesmanship, too. Great fans, though.
Great fans.
It's good, friendly banter.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the total attendance numbers for tonight. I will probably press the general manager when he comes up here to get that number early, because usually we get it around the 70 or 80 minute mark when the PA addresser announces it. And so I'm going to press to get it early tonight. John, you think I should?
Do it. We're going to have him at halftime. Press.
We're going to have him. That's my job, being a part of the press. Stolen away, sliding to make the save was Lianglu, and that was the right play right there by the Matador. Corinthians had all the recipe to make something special there, and the Matadors are countering. Diaz with a step on the defender. Gathering himself, fires, scores! G-O-A-L, goal! Pablo Diaz continues to stay red hot, and the smoke is in the air, and the Matadors are on the board first in their first playoff game.
Fantastic break. Controlling the ball in the center of the field. Diaz turns the Jets on and puts that in the back of the net.
In the 37th minute, the fans are on feet, and I'm rejuvenized. That was beautiful. You saw the play develop as he was coming here on the left side, had a step on the defender, and played it perfectly, John, to remain on sides, and he puts it in the back of the net.
He cheated the near post there. The keeper just slightly out of position, not covering the post enough with his body, and sneaks the goal in there. Great job by Pablo Diaz.
Matadors up 1-0 here in the 37th minute. And this is where you want to be if you're the Matadors, right? You want to be ahead, and you don't want to have to be playing catch up.
It favors Lubbock. They did that in the last outing against Corinthians FC, getting up early and piling the goals on. Again, it's only 1 goal right now, but Lubbock has a good recipe there for the counterattack, which you would see from Corinthians normally.
As Corinthians here, trying to get fancy with the footwork, but great way to gather that ball back in, because that would have gone out of bounds and it would have been a goal kick. As they're resetting their offense here, great comments coming in on the live stream. Let's go. many other celebratory messages here. Super grateful for all of those for the Matador fans.
Great defense there. Not playing too heavy in the box. Not making sure Corinthians has a player that goes down. Great defense.
So going to some of the comments, Jonathan saying, wait for the South Region semifinal and finals if you make it there. 2 games, 2 days. And yes, I don't get why it's like that either outside of cost savings. Yeah, because that's a really quick turnaround. Yeah,
They would be playing that Friday the 21st and then Saturday the 22nd. And that's unheard of in soccer, football, to have back-to-backs like that.
Right, and if I'm correct here, because the Matadors are the #1 seed in the South Region, all of those games would be here in Lubbock at Pirate Stadium if they're able to get there.
According to NPSL's website, the highest seeded team hosts the games. So yeah, if that favors Lubbock if they continue to win. But again, mentality in the locker room from Coach Gilbert himself.
Yeah, they're still thinking it's 0-0 on that scoreboard right now. Of course, I love seeing McNeil and Diaz out front pressing the back four of Corinthians when they have the ball down there. I think that's really awesome to see.
It's a great winger attack. Their formation for Corinthians FC is supposed to kind of funnel that more into the middle and to create more of an overload, but you've seen Lubbock just kind of sneak back and get behind them.
John, we're up to 225 people watching live on YouTube.
That's not counting My Lubbock TV.
Yeah, of course, My Lubbock TV audience. We're grateful for everybody watching, but we want to get to 300 subscribers tonight, y'all. Can we make it happen? Of course, this is the home of the Lubbock Matadors. I did see one fan saying done and done, subbed and liked. We appreciate that fan earlier.
Thank you.
We're hoping for a few more of those as we got to. This is an opportunity here for Corinthians, John. I look down and see this. A fire.
Sam again.
Punches that out. Another save for the sensational goalkeeper.
4 saves on the match tonight for Gomez. Just hands of stone. Soft as butter when you need him.
Right.
Great wall of Lubbock altogether.
Yeah, we saw that meme on the Matadors Facebook page. It was Pam from The Office and a picture of the Matadors, and it was like, or not, a picture of the Great Wall of China,
and then Sam Gomez.
And like, I see nothing. I see the same thing here. That's kind of funny. Made me laugh.
Great touch there. Good job clearing it out of the back to put it to your forward.
And he is elite breakaway speed. McNeil out front. They're going to call it offsides. The fans are on their feet and have their hands on their head, but they call it offsides at about the 35-yard line. You know, my first broadcast I ever did, I would have bitten on that, thinking, man, that's not offsides. But I'm learning, John.
Hey, you're a student of the game.
Right.
Not necessarily soccer, but doing your research, doing the homework. I'm not sure that was offside.
John's looking at the replay on YouTube right now to confirm. As Gomez goes up there and grabs that one again. That's number 5 for him. I don't know if we have enough lines for him on the goalkeeper save tonight.
We might have to add a little bit more notches on this.
Hey, we're getting some subscribers. Brittany saying done and done. Let's go Mats, or Matadors rather. And then Jonathan saying an easy subscribe and like. We appreciate that. We'll keep updating the numbers throughout the broadcast because, again, we want to grow this channel. We want to become the bar when it comes to broadcasts for the NPSL. We want to set the new standard. So we appreciate everybody that's watching and been a part of this all year.
We got a good compliment earlier. So they said that we are doing. I mean, we're doing the best we can.
Oh, absolutely. And Coach Gilbert is fired up and frustrated. Mitar is going to defend his player.
We've seen matches get out of hand before, and I believe that was just only a week ago. The referee, you can't just put hands on a player like that.
Right, and these guys are defending their guys. There's a lot of chit-chat between both teams right now, and the officiating crew is going to have to probably start showing some yellow cards soon if they don't want to lose control of this game.
We've seen it get out of hand last week in the first leg of El Dustico with West Texas FC. You don't want it to get back to those standards there. But the ref doing a good job separating both sides from themselves.
Right. Sebastian saying subbed and liked and clicked the bell. Oh, no, that was Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. Sebastian said done and done in Plainview.
Hey,
my niece was born in Plainview. I'm a big fan of Plainview. got John pulling out his cell phone now. We're at 242 people watching. That is, to me, that is awesome. That shows how much the Matadors, the fans have bought into this club as well, John. Because our first broadcast that we did on this YouTube channel, I believe we had like 30 people watching, and now we've grown to 242.
Exponential growth from year 1 to year 2. That's incredible.
Right.
And Lubbock just being as supportive a community as they are, winning helps, first of all.
Right.
But
right.
just, again, you don't get behind a team if they're not behind the community.
Well, a big thing as well here, John, because you know me, I love to counter you with things. Okay, I'm going to counter you right here. Okay?
Here we go.
Their season is at the exact right time. Lubbock is a big market, over 250,000 people, pushing 300,000.
Oh yeah,
people,
it's getting
right?
closer to 300,000.
And they're a town that loves sports. They got the Red Raiders, but this is the time of the year between Texas Tech baseball and Texas Tech soccer that nothing is happening. You got a month and a half, 2 month long window where sports fans are craving sports, and the Matadors are here giving them the atmosphere and the sports that they love and miss during this time of year. And so I think the recipe is there for something great.
It's been proven with every game that has gone by this season. You've seen the crowd just get bigger and bigger. Let's see if Corinthians can kind of piece something together with the last 2 minutes of the half. Plus stoppage time, of course.
Hey, Trevor saying I texted Dustin to get a number for you guys ASAP. Trevor's pressing him before we get to press him. Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks, YouTube. The comment section is on it tonight.
That was hardcore saying, Jonathan, about the physicality, and it was, and you love it because that's what these fans paid to see when they came here.
It's playoff intensity at its finest. Being the first potential game for either of these teams, you want to see that.
You want to put your best foot forward,
oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Well, and then you also love that they're standing up for their guys because that means they love each other and that they're a team and that they're going to stand up for each other.
Great possession here for Lubbock.
Yeah, great passing. You know, earlier at the 30-minute mark, we were kind of critical of both teams passing as that's offsides once again. Earlier, we were a little critical of the passing, but it looks like both these squads are starting to clean it up a little bit. They're passing it, and they're spreading the field a little bit more.
Diaz waved it off a little bit. He didn't want anyone else to get any more emotional about the great through ball right there.
Lee Walker, y'all say hi to my daughter, Rayleigh. Hi, Rayleigh.
Hi, Rayleigh.
There you go. I was looking at you to wait until you said hi to Rayleigh.
I was paying attention to that physical contesting right there for a goal kick for Lubbock.
Right. All right, 45 minutes is up, so now we're in the extra time here as we get ready for halftime. Of course, there was multiple players that went down for Corinthians FC here in this first half, John. And then on top of that, we did have the hydration break presented by United Express, rather. Went to United Express the other day, John, and they have a whole hot dog spread where you can get all these different condiments, pico de gallo, and all of that. It was a great stop.
You like pico in a hot dog?
Oh, dude, elite. Oh, and Diaz is out front again.
Little too heavy, that touch.
It was a little too heavy.
It's the right idea, though. The dam is starting to break just a little bit for Corinthians. They just want to get into the half at this point. But on one of their better possessions we saw in the last couple of minutes, Corinthians playing from the back. That's exactly what you want. Threw ball to the edge. It didn't go their way, but you want to see more of that if you're Corinthians FC.
Right. Matadors putting a lot of pressure on them. Lee saying, thanks, guys. You're welcome, Lee. Anything for the fans, man. I'm all in. Only thing I'm not in is reading bad comments. And we had a lot of that on the live stream, the YouTube live stream last week. And
it got a little ridiculous.
It got out of hand a little bit. I think we had over a couple hundred comments. It was quite impressive. But, again, super grateful for all the fans, though. It's going to be a throw-in for the Lubbock Matadors. The chants continue on. And the Mozos, John, has continually grown all season. They like to stand basically the entire match. And you see more flags. You see more unique hats. I see a pirate hat out there. And you love to see that and they put them purposely right behind the Corinthians bench so that the Corinthians team has to hear them the entire time.
It was incredible to hear the second leg of El Desico. The Matadors.
Oh, on
the
on
fandom
the TV?
And the Mozos just collectively just berating the team. Not with anything, mean-spirited, but with the chants, the drums, the trumpets.
There's nothing mean-spirited. They are all right. they're always class acts down there and doing chants. As here's a free kick into the box. A header, off to the side. I believe that was Maria that had the chance to hit that there. And almost, but not there. Was that Maria?
It comes off his foot perfectly, straight onto, yeah, it was Maria.
Or Kode Kobayashi.
I think it was Kobayashi, actually.
Yeah.
Checking the replay here.
Yeah, you're watching on the, it's Kobayashi. I've been watching him.
But that came off his foot perfectly to get into the box, and that's a great chance to have. Again, set pieces is what you don't want if you're Corinthians FC for Lubbock.
So here's a throw in by Diaz. Samoa trying to kick it in there, but it's stolen away.
You see San Antonio their buildup is just very slow. It's not even methodical. It's just having a hard time building up into the attacking third.
Want to give a shout out to Lillian Hernandez. She played soccer, and I believe this is Alexander on the comments wanting me to give a shout out to her. Loving all of this here. That was insanely close, says Jonathan, and it really was. The Matadors have had a lot of opportunities really close to the net and firing on goal. They do have one that translated to the ball in the back of the net. But again, shots on goal are one of the biggest stats in the game, and the Matadors are finding they're adding more and more tallies to that. How many do you have on here for the Matadors tonight now, John? I believe we're at 4 or 5 now.
4. I have 4.
Okay. All right, I believe that's going to do it for the first half. 1-0 to score here. And we're going to get to talk about a little bit of our halftime show coming up. You love to see this, right? Okay. We do want to mention this before we get into our halftime conversations. Tonight, streaming for today's game is brought to you by Mears Mazda Volvo, Lubbock's locally owned luxury dealership since 1971. Our focus is on our clients. We want them to enjoy their experience, find the vehicle that's right for them, and ultimately be glad they came to Mears. We want to thank Mears because they've been a big sponsor for us all season, and they've supported all of our streams that we've had. John, 1-0 the current score. Pablo Diaz in the 37th minute, continuing to have a hot streak and putting that ball in the back of the net. And now the Matadors heading into the break up 1-0.
The biggest takeaway from this, the stat that sticks out the most, is the lack of shots for Corinthians FC. You've seen them get into the top third, the attacking third, to have shots on goal. Not enough compared to Lubbock. They have opportunities. They've shown a little bit signs of life attacking from their back line, but they're just not putting it together in the midfield.
Well, they've had 5 opportunities that Gomez has had to save today, and so they are getting some pressure. But you're right, they're getting about midfield, and
it's just falling apart.
Yeah, Matadors are forcing turnovers and doing some great things on the defensive end. You got to tip your cap to the Matadors midfield, then, right?
I talked about that at the beginning of the game. One of the keys to victory is controlling the midfield, and Lubbock has done a superb job making sure that they control the pace, basically.
Right. So, again, I think I've said it 1,000 times. We'll say it 1,000 more times. Thank you for tuning in tonight on My Lubbock TV and on YouTube. We're super grateful to be bringing you playoff soccer, John.
Oh, this is a wonderful feeling.
This is awesome. You know, I had on my calendar 6 games, but now we're at 7. Could we get to 8, 9? Man, that would be so awesome, but one game at a time.
If everything stays the way that it does now, carrying into the final 90 minutes.
Right.
Then we could potentially see Lubbock playing on Saturday.
That'd be fun to see.
Oh yeah.
And John will be holding.
Yeah, you'll be a fan at that point.
Yeah, John will be holding down the fort, and I'll be devastated watching the match. I'm sorry, I'm cheesy, but
no, you are.
Coming up soon, we will have our general manager Dustin McCork will come up here and join us as we get ready to talk about halftime. But John, if you had to give a first half man of the match, and it cannot be Diaz because he won man of the match last time in the El Dustico game. Who would you give it to?
Well, I'd give it to Pablo Diaz.
Oh.
It's just it's the pace that he's playing with on the edge. He's getting into attacking opportunities, and obviously putting the ball in the back of the net is a lot to do with it. But if we're not picking Diaz, give me Sam Gomez. Great wall of Lubbock, doing great wall things and preventing the ball from going into Lubbock's net.
Going to some of the comments here on the YouTube live stream. It says, what a starting half. Going to Jonathan saying he's going to be back. He's got the live stream going.
Hey, come back.
A good half, says Joe, and I agree. Uh-oh, Jake is back. He said, I'm sitting next to the Mozos waving a scarf. I challenged you to a PK last game. Jake hasn't forgotten, John. That's funny.
I haven't forgotten either.
He hasn't forgotten either. That's, yeah, better watch out, Jake. All right, so season tickets tonight, though. It's a big deal to become a season ticket holder. John, you were a season ticket holder
Yes, I am.
before you got in the booth. Still
Yeah.
technically a season ticket holder.
Technically, yes, and I will support that next season too.
So there was a big announcement not 36 hours ago for the season ticket holders. Season ticket holders got into tonight's game free, and I believe to the rest of the playoff games if the Matadors continue on. And that's a big thing, being a season ticket holder, and it makes it even sweeter for them.
That's not even the tip of the iceberg for what you get as a season ticket holder. Discounts for the pop-up shops they have, discounts for the merchandise that is available here. You have a select group of, I believe, 8 tickets that you can give out at any point. Hey, you want to bring some of your friends to the match? 8 extra tickets on top of your ticket. And that just brings all your friends. That's what I did last week.
Well, and then on top of that, well, even something even more, the game that John wore, his jersey, his first game that he did, I believe they gave you that for free as well for being a season ticket holder.
That comes with that. Summer sessions for your kids if you want to get them into a soccer summer camp with the Lubbock Matadors themselves.
Right, I believe they have 3 of them.
Oh, great package plan for a season ticket holder.
So next year, if you're watching this tonight and you're thinking, man, I don't know, you want to. Because being a season ticket holder, having your face in the place week in, week out is really something special to see. Of course, Lone Star Conference playoffs. The other game that's happening is Brownsville versus West Texas. That game is at Brownsville. And, man, Brownsville, the last time the Matadors saw them, they were physical, they were tough, and they've been really playing really well right now. And that's a team I wouldn't want in the first game, and they got West Texas tonight.
Either one of those teams on that side of the bracket, too. Brownsville playing with all the intensity and viciousness that they had. Grinded out game, and Lubbock got that one for sure. But you don't want to see them again, especially in this playoff atmosphere. West Texas FC, one of the better rivals that Lubbock has. We traded 1-1 at home on the road. You don't want to see either of these teams.
Positive for Lubbock if Brownsville does come, okay? That's like a 10-hour bus ride.
Oh, yeah.
That is tough.
We talked about San Antonio traveling, and that bus ride itself just it'll wear down on you a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. That game for the Lubbock Matadors when they defeated Brownsville was a 2-1 battle back on May 20th. And it seems like a good long time ago, or if you blink, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that long ago, but May 20th was a good amount of time ago. And the Matadors won that 2-1. And yeah, I wouldn't want anything to do with Brownsville because, man, they were tough. They were tough. You tip your cap to them.
Lubbock's second advantage to that, Lubbock's second advantage to that is also you're the home team, and in the NPSL playoffs, you're obviously the #1 seed. You're going to be hosting all these playoff games moving forward if you continue to win.
Reading some of the comments here on the live stream. It looks like tonight we got some youth soccer out there. Last home match, John, there was
100 versus 3.
100 versus 3. I think it turned out to be like 80 something versus 3.
It was a lot.
Man, it was overwhelming to watch. Yeah, the Matadors were out there. I believe it was Turai, Tuguete, and a couple other guys that were out there playing, and they did what they were supposed to do. And my favorite part was at the very beginning, maybe 15 seconds into the 3 versus 80 match. Turai was hugging this sideline down here, and it was one kid left to stop him, and that one kid knew exactly what he had to do. He laid his body out in front of Turai, blocked the ball, and they didn't score. It was awesome.
Shout out to my friend Kayla. Her son actually scored that goal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that the kids had.
That's awesome.
Great job. He's a goalkeeper, too, which is kind of ironic.
So, again, moments away from having our general manager, Dustin McCorkle, come up here and join us. And again, to our fans that are watching on My Lubbock TV, welcome to soccer here on the South Plains. This has been a sensational first 2 years for this club, and it's been so much fun to be a part of, and we're glad that we're able to reach you now on My Lubbock TV. Tonight's a big night for the Matadors because it's their playoff game, but it's also a big night for the broadcasting team because we're reaching a whole new audience.
You're watching a top 5 team in the country, not just in the Lone Star Conference. The Lone Star Conference winners at that. First playoff match here in Lubbock. Oh, what an atmosphere.
What an atmosphere. Lee saying Jake's back. Yeah, Jake's back in the comment section. Oh, I didn't get the info on the Matador Soccer Camp, says Michael Salazar. If you are a season ticket holder, I believe it comes in the form of email, correct?
It does. So you are on the email list, exclusive email list at that. There's also meet and greets with the ownership and some of the partners. There's just all kinds of events going on for season ticket holders.
Of course, Michael asked me earlier on in the comments section if there's potential for new things coming away. And John, do you want to?
Speaking of new things.
Yeah, speaking of new things, the comment section wants me to press our general manager. I think that's my job as being a part of the press. They want to know how many people are here tonight.
Well, we are still counting because we're still having people walk in. So
Oh, that's awesome.
over 4,000 earlier today.
Okay.
Not sure where we're at right now.
Wow. Yeah, we were looking down on the stands. Of course, this is our general manager, Dustin McCorkle, joining us right now. It looks similar to the 5,300 as we have the bird's eye view looking down.
Yeah, I mean, we had 72 hours to promote this game. It's pretty incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, this has been a great year for this club. When you took over last year as the general manager and you look for growth every year, did you see this kind of leap that the Matadors made this year?
Yeah, so Coach and I talked about what does success look like on the field. And on the field it was, how do we make playoffs in year 2? So part of this feels incredible that we're number 1 in the conference, number 3 in the nation. The other half is like, we're setting a pretty high bar for ourselves in year 2, and we have to tailor expectations that this is one of the hardest conferences and this is abnormal. So it's amazing. We're enjoying the ride though.
Absolutely, and of course, if the Matadors are able to win, you're going to have, 72 hours to promote another game on Saturday.
Correct, yeah, well, hopefully we have a little bit more runway that people know now, like, hey, the playoffs are coming fast and furious, but yeah, we're already talking about Saturday in hopes that, we can pull off tonight against a really tough San Antonio team. I mean, anyone who's in the playoffs right now is capable of winning a game, so that's why we take so much pride in what we did in the regular season. I think, American culture, we're so used to the playoff system.
Right.
But, a one-game elimination game doesn't really tell the full story in our soccer world of how successful the club was. So 10-1 regular season champs, that actually means a lot to our club. And in the soccer world, that's a better expression of how good your team is. So.
Absolutely. You talked about goals. As a player scored a great goal right there.
Sign him up. I need to get his name.
Absolutely. Of course, that's one of the goals for this club is to eventually develop local talent and see some of our Lubbockites out there on the pitch.
Yeah, I think some of the craziness with everything going on, I think Lubbock, I've heard over and over again that Lubbock has needed this, Lubbock has wanted this. But due to the success of it so quickly, some people are like, hey, are y'all going to leave the city? And normally it's when you're not doing good that you get those type of questions. That is the next iteration of this before we can get our own venue. Is I would love to start working on plans to put a youth club in system to show people that, like, the Matadors are invested here, we're giving back to the community, but your kids can wear our logo and come up in our system, and we want to develop local talent to go showcase to the world. So that's how we view it.
Well, and you talked about with me, I think it was the first time we chatted this year at Two Docs at the pregame party before Game 1, was that maybe in the future as well you might be able to have a women's club out here.
Yeah, I mean, women's soccer is taken off so amazingly around the world, and the women's game is just as beautiful. And I have a son and a daughter, and seeing how women's sports have evolved as of late, I would love to be able to complement that. And Texas Tech obviously has done an amazing job here locally with their brand of soccer and their women's game, and how cool it would be to piggyback off of that, give those women and others the platform to continue to play in the summer and develop while they're waiting on the season to start.
Right. Of course, as we see ourselves back on camera, this is our general manager, Dustin McCorkle, in his second year leading the charge. And he's a guy that's been a part of a lot of great clubs, growing these great teams across the country, and we're super grateful to have him up here. I want to thank you, man, for letting me be a part of this team, man, because I know without you giving me the green light, I wouldn't be in the booth.
Hey, man, I genuinely believing in people, and there's something special about what you guys did last year and are doing this year. And I really want to set the bar, but I want to set the bar with local talent, and that's on the field, that's behind the scenes. And I got to give a quick shout out to Coach McCaslin for what he did earlier today. I got some great time with him prior to the game and then a little bit after kick, and just the value system that he has and the culture that's going to be in place. And again, these are local people that are going to be representing our brand, and that's the stuff we're trying to accomplish here in Lubbock. And these Texas Tech coaches complementing what we're doing here with soccer when people think of Lubbock and they don't think of soccer, that goes so far with me. So
Right. Richard wants to know in the comment section, how can he become a season ticket holder next year?
yeah, great question, and I love that thought. And we've got some amazing different ways to be a season ticket holder. Go to our website, lubbockmatadors.com. Go to our tickets page. You should be able to, I believe, register right now for $12 a month.
Okay.
The ability to become a premium season ticket holder, which will get you access to all these extra benefits like a free jersey.
Yep.
And those jerseys are $75. So you're basically paying $50 for your season ticket.
Right.
And for $12 a month, you can get on our season ticket program.
And realistically, I pay that already for a streaming service that I don't watch. And so, like, what is that nowadays, you know?
Well, and the other cool part too, a lot of our season ticket holders are here tonight. They didn't pay for these tickets. So part of our benefits program is if you're a season ticket holder, we're not guaranteed playoffs, but if we make it, we're going to throw those in additionally. So the savings just continues to grow the more games we play.
One thing the Matadors love to do is to take care of their fans, and you're hearing it right here. Trevor Lyons saying shout out to you. He's been he told me he was messaging you earlier about seeing if you can get us the attendance numbers. And then a goat from Frank Martinez for our GM here. So what do you want to see from our club in the second half? You got to love what we saw in the first half, right?
Yeah, real quick, just shout out to Trevor. Trevor worked with our club year one.
Okay.
Did a lot to grow our social channels and doing some amazing things right now with NHL and minor league hockey as well. So great success story of someone that came in to support our club and is now doing some really big things in bigger areas. So shout out to you, Trevor.
Is Trevor from Lubbock? Because I recognize his name.
No, he's from Dallas, so he's
Okay.
back working with the Stars and some other teams back in Dallas. So
pretty cool.
proud of him. But I think from a standpoint on the field, again, this team is dangerous. We've seen them play some really close matches recently. They grinded out to get in the playoffs to play us.
Right.
So I know they're not going to die. My score prediction tonight was a 1-goal differential. I hope I'm wrong.
Right.
I hope we can finish this, but I think we got to stay true to the form, and I think we got to keep spreading them out because this is their 4th game in a week, and I'm hoping they're tired for this second half. And if we make them run and chase and have to move around us, then I think we're going to see some good things happen.
Pablo Diaz continues to be a shining star for this team in the last couple matches, man.
Man, I tell you what, that West Texas FC game home, obviously the ending wasn't what we wanted to see, but Pablo had 6 or 7 chances that game to put away a goal, and it just wasn't there that night. But any other night, Pablo easily has 3 or 4 goals off of the chances that he created. And then we saw on Saturday, he scores 2 goals.
Right.
And then who scores the goal first here tonight? Pablo.
Pablo.
So man, that's a sign of a team that wants it, a guy that owns the fact that he knows that he could have put that game away for us, and he didn't. But he pounded his chest and said, I'm going to be better. And, man, what a display of heart the last couple of games.
100%. Finally, before I let you go and let you enjoy the rest of this match, over 200 fans went to Midland to go watch the good guys win the El Dustico 4-2. And then tonight you said you already had over 4,000. More people are trickling in. Speak to how the Lubbock community's bought into this club.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to I hope people are seeing what we're doing off the pitch.
Right.
That for the kids, for the youth, for some of our nonprofits that are doing amazing work. And because of that, they're wanting to show up for us. And, the bottom line is, even if you don't know soccer, it's like this is something fun to do during the summer because there's nothing else going on here.
That's what I told John earlier, that I said the season is like at the perfect time because there's nothing else happening in town. The sports fans that are craving sports in the middle of summer, this is it.
Yeah, but I think what will happen is if we continue to do what we've been doing, we're going to grow soccer fans through this platform. And then we're going to see people crave it beyond 2.5, 3 months out of the year.
Absolutely.
What
Another
a shot.
fire.
Oh!
Off the top bar right there. The fans are celebrating like it's a goal, but it went off the football field goal post, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, those are the chances that we're going to be creating in the second half that I'm really excited about. So
right.
Thank you to you guys for all you do for our fans. Our platform
we're grateful for it.
has been amazing. Keep growing. If you haven't liked and followed, Please get on our YouTube. These guys have done amazing, but we want to continue to produce content in the off season and use this channel for good things for soccer.
We started tonight at 229. We're now at 269. Our goal is 300 for tonight.
That would be amazing. I mean, I'm telling you, we've got to. Lubbock is a soccer market now.
Oh,
what a ball!
Up to McNeil. Fires on goal and scores! Golazo! Matadors!
So real quick, Ethan's dad flew in town tonight, so he's here to watch his son, and he just got to watch him put a goal in, which is amazing.
That's his 8th goal of the season. The sophomore from Houston Christian, London, England, and you love to see it for the Matadors. They extend their lead 2-0. GM Dustin McCorkle, thank you for coming up here and chatting with us during halftime, man.
Devin, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And John, thank you for letting me step in. You do fantastic work up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we let you go, Rose Crabtree says Dustin is a high-quality guy, to say the least. You love to hear that, right?
Oh, well.
Thank you, Rose.
Too kind, Rose. Thank you so much. No, I'll just tell you this, for anyone that's from here, this is some of the most proud work I've gotten to do in my course of my sports career, is to do something at home in a place that I love, that my family is at, and couldn't be more proud and grateful and humble for all the support we've gotten. So thank you so much, Rose.
Awesome. Great stuff there. Positivity in the comment section tonight. We appreciate that. That's our general manager, Dustin McCorkle. John, you're getting your headset back on. 48th minute there. Ethan Jiwa McNeil puts it in the net.
Checking the replay here. Jiwa McNeil just almost completely unmarked.
He seemed like he was by himself, and he was able to dribble it in on the right side. As they pass it up to him again, is he going to be able to do it again? Slowing it down, fires, and it goes off the leg of a Corinthians player. The energy and the excitement in the stadium is rising here as the pressure is being put on by the Lubbock Matadors, as we were about to have a signature stag corner kick. Of course, signature stag, your one-stop man shop. I believe this is the Matadors' 3rd corner kick of the match.
On that first attempt, Jiwa McNeil coming in right off of offside trap. Corinthians didn't implore that quickly enough. He gets open, puts it in the back of the net, and now we have a corner kick opportunity.
Matadors, I believe, have scored 1 goal this year off of a corner kick. I shouldn't have said it because I'm not 100% sure, because in TV world, you got to be 100% certain.
Oh, yeah.
But they've had success with it. Going back post, heading it, another header, a fire on goal, and it is another goal! Stefan Maria this time puts it in the back of the net, and the Matadors are up 3-0. Wow! The goal chant is at least 50 seconds long by the PA announcer, and it's earned.
We talked about the ball going in off the back post from across, and you might have put the icing on the cake there, Devin.
No, not yet. oh, with me saying they've had success?
Yeah. Not the whole cake, maybe the slice.
Stefan Maria, it went off of a header, off of another Matador's head, to the foot of Maria, and he finishes it off. That is beautiful.
We talked about the absence of Marcus Krogstad not being your biggest target on corner pieces like that. Worked perfectly for Lubbock.
Pablo Diaz scores the first goal in the 37th minute, Ethan Jiwa McNeil in the 48th, and now Stefan Maria in the 51st. If you are looking for excitement in the second half, you have found it here on our live streams. This is playoff soccer, and the Matadors are here, and they're rumbling. Here we go, says PJ. Loving all these comments here. Brandon saying, vamonos.
Great switch there by Corinthians. You want to see more of them playing it, just exactly like that. Creating chances off the edge or playing from the back, as I alluded to at the end of the first half.
Mitar kicks that one sky high, and the Matadors are trying to get out in front. I like what Diaz there. He thought the play was going to be able to go out in front of him.
Looking for another counter opportunity there as Corinthians gets one here.
They are taking advantage of their counter opportunities here to start the second half, as Gomez goes and grabs that one. Is my audio still on my YouTube channel? I don't know. I'm still hearing it. There we go. It is Tres Cerro. You're exactly right, Brandon. Trevor saying San Antonio who? The Matadors are showing up tonight, and you would want to see that from the team that's ranked 3rd in the nation and 10-1 on the season. I think that loss, that gut-wrenching loss in the 96th minute, the 1-0 loss to West Texas in your last home match, John, lit a fire in this team. That loss was tough, and it happened. It was gut-wrenching, and I can't express that enough. And
The only loss of the season had to be the worst game.
Right. And that could either deflate a team or motivate a team. And, man, I think it lit a fire in them. They were fired up after that match when we went and talked to them.
We talked about not having the fixtures be so close
great
to
slide. Sorry to interrupt you. Finish your thought there,
good.
John.
Kobayashi with the slide there.
Yeah.
Excellent tackle. But we talked about the fixtures not being so close to each other, especially when you're playing the same team back-to-back. It favored Lubbock going on the road into Midland, enemy territory. You had a whole mob of people behind you, at least 300 traveling fans getting out there, the Moses included. And it did certainly light a fire under them.
Here's the signature stag corner kick. Signature stag, your one-stop man shop. First of the night for Corinthians. Gomez clapping his hands, and it looks like we're going to have a wash, rinse, repeat here, John. It'll be the second signature stag corner kick for Corinthians. No, it was a throw-in. My apologies.
Nothing but air.
Yep. Now that one went way up there. Jimmy Bocanegra coming in with some comments. You'll love to see it. You want to read it, John? I know that's your family. McNeil pressing there.
I see your comment. Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to everybody in the comment section.
100%. 219 people watching on YouTube, and of course, way more on My Lubbock TV. And I guess we need to thank, because their sister station is Channel 11 here in town, and we got to thank their management for allowing us to be a part of this.
Great opportunity to expand the game, get the name out there, especially with as well as Lubbock has been playing. It's good to see this on TV now.
Right, as they try to cross it in there. Corinthians cleared it. Matadors recover.
Talk about controlling the midfield, and Lubbock is doing a great job of that more here in the second half.
You're seeing a motivated team tonight. A team that wants to leave a legacy here on the South Plains. A team that wants to keep playing here, too. I know that.
We talked to Coach Gilbert last week, and he highlighted a little bit on facing adversity. Yeah, Lubbock they were undefeated at the time before the loss last week, but talked about how even with the undefeated streak, Lubbock was facing adversity. There were matches where you kind of had to make those halftime adjustments. You kind of had to figure something out in the middle of the game, and Lubbock has been through it. In every kind of match that you can figure out to win or be a part of or lose, they've done it this season.
Alex Masterson saying, shout out to you guys. Shout out to you, man.
Hey!
And Baby Lincoln.
Great switch here.
Yeah, here's Diaz climbing into the box. Ooh, great.
Good cutback.
Yeah, great cutback. And passing it, firing off the defender. Then the Matadors recover. It's Luke Jones. Back to Pablo. Blocked. Firing it with his right foot this time. No good. Oh, into the box. And fires again and scores! But it's offsides. That was offsides. Maria was just right offsides. The announcer's chanting goal, but it's not a goal. It was offsides. And back come Corinthians. Gomez is going to gather it.
You want to see more of that for Lubbock up top. They just kept striking and striking and striking. Had a little bit of a 1-2 there. Keep the triangle of passing alive, and it could have potentially got you a goal. And for Corinthians just now, you want to see more of that counterattacking deep ball sending in from the back. Their bread and butter. Unfortunately, their bread has not been buttered.
It's just burnt toast?
It's just like soft toast right now.
Just soft toast?
Yeah, just soft toast.
Trying to hit that corner there, but great block out by
amazing
Kobayashi. Of course, Kode Kobayashi is a senior from Texas A&M International. Of course, home country of Japan, and he has been sensational this year, as well as Kitaro Hirokawa and all the defenders. Kyle Baker saying Luke Jones goal incoming on the live stream. And Trevor saying, I foresee a Pablo hat trick. Man, that would
that would be excellent.
Yeah,
that's a good way to.
That means you got a few more goals coming our way then.
Place a stamp on this.
that would be a stamp on an opening playoff game for the Matadors in their first ever playoff
Oh, excellent
match.
dribbling.
Yeah,
Oh.
Morea still going. Ahead to McNeil. The goalkeeper's climbing up. If he can get past him, he's got a chance. Fires! Off to the left. No good. He's got his hands on his head. He knew he had a chance there, John, and that was super close.
That net was almost wide open. You had a defender giving you a little bit of pressure, but you got to make that.
And you saw how frustrated he was. He knows that.
I would be more frustrated if I was Morea. Excellent dribbling through 3 defenders in the midfield.
Yeah, that was a trick himself right there, man. My ankle would have been broken if I was trying to defend him, that's for sure. Apparently the Matador OGs have returned for the playoffs in the comment section, John.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the YouTube live stream, as well as our new sponsor for tonight, My Lubbock TV. As they cross it in, Gomez gathers it in. That's easy for him.
Sticky hands there.
It's number 6 for him tonight.
He's shown great presence of mind with pressure around him and obviously those easy catches that you should be making there. Corinthians just looks a little off kilter right now. They're not building up their attack, and they're not really doing what they're known to do, which is counterattacking football.
One of the most impressive parts about what the Matadors have done here in the second half is that they're doing it with the wind to their face. They're running into the wind right now, and that makes what the 2 goals that they've scored here in the 48th and 51st minute even more impressive.
A little bit of a miscue there. Great pressure there.
Yeah, Leonglu lets him go over there and grab it. Of course, he's a freshman from Western Texas College out in Snyder. Home country of Greece. That's pretty cool.
Moses going crazy right now.
Broken ankle,
great back heel.
Broken ankles everywhere is the comment, and that's right. As McNeil gets it here, he sees Diaz across the way. He fires it, and it's going to be just in front of him. It's going to roll out of bounds, and it's right on that line near the pole. Will it be a throw-in or a goal kick?
Yellow card has been issued to number 32.
A yellow card. Of course, our yellow cards are presented by Alliance Federal Credit Union for people not for profit. Alliance Credit Union has been great to us all year. Logan wants to know, what's the total attendance for tonight? They will announce it officially.
We're figuring it out.
We pressed the general manager at halftime. He said over 4,000 people.
He also said there was people still walking in.
He said people were still walking in, and so we hope to get you that number sometime here, probably in the late part of the second half. From my point of view, though, I bet you're in the 5,000s just from where we're looking here tonight.
I'm going to put this in everybody's ear. Part of the organization, the Fence Fanatics.
Oh, the ones, the little kids up there on the fence?
We need a sign there just that says the home of the Fence Fanatics.
Hey, that's yeah, because it's been every match. There's been kids up there at the gate cheering and rooting on for the Matadors.
They get the rowdiest, I'd like to think.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to be, if the Matadors score again, I'll be looking for it.
Chain link chanters? How about that one?
Hey, Jonathan, you are the man. Quick update from the other Lone Star Conference game, which is the 2 versus 3 seed. FC Brownsville 1, West Texas FC 1. Oh, and another header cleared out by Corinthians. When you play with fire, sometimes you get burned, and the Corinthians not getting burned there, but the Matadors regroup. Oh, and there's a lot of contact there.
Oh, great ball. Great pass.
Yeah, Morea battling for it.
Morea has shown me a level of intensity. That's a handball there, sir. A level of intensity coming out of the half, just on fire, on point with the passing, the dribbling, and just controlling the pace. Great turn. Oh, Diaz with a great turn there.
We're going to put it on Jonathan's shoulders to continue to update us in that game. Jonathan, you should have seen the way John whipped around the second I said there's an update from the other game.
I actually hurt my neck. I am injured.
Do we always show matches here on YouTube? Yes, PJ, thank you for the answer there. All of our home matches are on YouTube, the Lubbock Matadors, so make sure you like and subscribe. Our goal tonight is 300 subscribers. I believe we were at 269 when we had our GM up here.
We're getting
Pass
there.
into the box, cleared out. That was a great ball to get it to McNeil, but the back line for Corinthians was able to clear it out.
If it's not Pablo, it's McNeil. And it's a two-headed attack there. 3-headed if you want to count Morea too. funneling the top third.
And it's a whole arsenal of weapons. They got 11 guys on this roster that have scored goals. Of course, Marcus Krogstad, a major goal getter for them this year, scoring 6 goals, is out for the last couple of matches with a knee injury, and we hope he is doing well.
Get well soon.
Ooh.
Great build up there. 1-2 along the edge. Oh, just a heavy touch.
So our former front office member in the chats tonight, Trevor Lyons, says attendance is 5,422.
Wow.
That is a new record if that is correct.
That is a new record.
Because the last attendance was 5,318, I believe is what it was. And so if it's 5,422, Lubbock stepping up once again for their hometown team.
We're seeing a defensive midfielder sub here for Corinthians FC. And again, apologies, we do not have the roster information for that. But they're looking to sub out another central defensive midfielder that helps kind of usher the attack based off this formation.
Getting some people from Brazil tuning in. You love to see it. To answer your question about what league, this is the National Premier Soccer League. Firing, and that's going to be 3 points if you're watching American football. But here tonight, that's a little too strong. The National Premier Soccer League, it's a home of 94 teams, and if you're looking at the pyramid, that is American soccer. This is Division 4, but with the amount of fans that the Matadors bring in, there has got to be thought of growth, right? Tremendous turnout week in and week out for this club. Gomez going to go grab that one. You'll see him pick it up here. Playing smart. $5,422. That is awesome.
There's a run.
Shout out to
along
Lubbock.
the edge.
Yeah, to Diaz, and you see Morea and McNeil. The second he gets the ball, going up
Kobayashi
front.
with a delayed run there, sending
Crossing it to the middle, heading it, and scoring! It's 4-0. The Matadors extend their lead. G-O-A-L, goal! In the 64th minute. I'm trying to see who put it in the net. From our point of view, that's a little too far away, but it's now 4-0 in the first ever playoff game for the Lubbock Matadors.
Kodai Kobayashi sealing the edge there, making the push, passing the ball back into the middle, making an overlapping run to get onside just enough to send the ball in. Great assist there from Kobayashi.
I think it was Ethan Giwa McNeil with the goal right there. That would be his second goal if that was him. And, of course, he's doing this in front of his dad. Who made the trip, who's been a traditional comment here on the live stream. And what a goal, what a start to the playoffs for this club. I've written so many stats down tonight that my Sharpie's dying on me, John.
Reload.
I got it.
Reload.
Bam.
Oh, there you go.
A Boy Scout comes
Always prepared, yep. Substitution in.
We do have a substitution for Pablo Diaz as they celebrate with him. Douglas Apaya checking into the game. I know some family were waiting to see him check in. Of course, substitutions are presented by Grease Monkey. There's no substitute for you or your vehicle. Go see our friends at Grease Monkey and let them take care of you today.
A fantastic outing for Diaz. Great goal scored in the 37th minute. Kept the energy up, and now we get some fresh blood, fresh legs in here, which might favor Lubbock, especially with Corinthians having traveled so much in the last 2 weeks.
Jonathan Starling saying in the 56th minute, FC Brownsville 2, West Texas FC 1. Of course, the winner of that game would come to Lubbock to play the Matadors on Saturday if the Matadors are able to seal the deal here in this match tonight. Of course, up 4-0. You got to feel good where you're at, but at the same time, Corinthians is in the playoffs for a reason. They're a good squad, and you can't overlook them here.
Shout out to Jonathan. I think he might be the MVP of the live chat tonight.
Who's Jonathan?
He gave us the goal, the score update for Brownsville.
Oh, come on, man. That's on me. I knew that.
That's on you, Devin.
That is on me. I apologize, Jonathan. You are starring in the comments section tonight for the updates.
Commenter of the match. It's early.
Great job by Pablo, says Jim. Yeah, Pablo had a great night tonight. Really setting the tone up front for this squad. And now Douglas Apaya comes in. And, John, when he checks into the game, it's like the team just took a 5-hour energy shot because he brings the intensity.
We talked about it when we saw the lineups too, with the Paya coming off the bench. That's great energy that you want to see. With Diaz, being the super sub originally, made his way into the starting lineup, and it's just going to keep more of the pressure up for Lubbock.
Right, as they get it to Apaya there, as he kicks it out to Asamoah. Great passing here by the Matadors. Luke Jones trying to get fancy, passing it to Morea, and they fire it in the middle. Corinthians got to clear it out.
Great scoop pass there.
The fans are spelling out Matadors in the comments section, one letter at a time. That's so awesome.
Here comes the LBK chant.
The LBK chant. Let's fill up the chat with the LBK chants. As here comes Corinthians trying to cross it in, but blocked. With a defender in front of him, Corinthians gets it again. This is the squad. I agree with that, Jake. Firing on goal. Gomez gathers it in. That's his 7th goal save of the night is what I got, John.
Fantastic. They don't call him the Great Wall of Lubbock for nothing. Excellent positioning there to play on the far post. Great shot by Corinthians there. But it's going to take a lot to get past Sam Gomez.
Yeah, one of my favorite chants for the Mozos. Underway right now. It's the LBK chants. And now you look over between the two benches, John, and you see two very different squads down there. You can kind of look at Corinthians. The coach is sitting up forward. You can kind of see some stress to him. And you can look at Coach Paul Gilbert over there. He looks pretty relaxed talking to his assistant
Let's go back to my favorite metaphor of the duck on the water.
The duck on the water.
Calm up top, paddling like crazy underneath.
You think he's still paddling right now with 4-0?
Absolutely. His mind's still racing, too. Great assistant coaching staff, too, to kind of help him with tactics if need be. But that just, again, it goes back to the level of composure that they're keeping. A professional level mindset for all of the players, for all of the coaching staff, for everybody involved.
So, of course, the assistant coaches that John brought up is Yuri Sedula, firing right there on another opportunity. I believe that was McNeil again. He's trying to make sure he puts on a show tonight with his dad here in town. So Yuri Sedula, he was the one that we talked to pregame, and of course, thank you, Coach. You were super generous with your time. He literally was setting up cones and talking to us, and it was awesome. He was so kind. And then, of course, Braxton Thorne is the other assistant coach, and Coach told us, I want to say 1 or 2 games ago, John, that either one of these assistant coaches could be head coaches in this league.
That's a testament to them.
Absolutely. We do have another substitution coming in. Of course, substitutions are presented by Grease Monkey. There's no substitute for you or your vehicle. Go see your friends at Grease Monkey today. Billy Aloha just checked in the game for Aaron Asamoah. I remember seeing in the substitutes that once Billy checked in, something was going to happen. And so whoever that commenter was, here's your chance to see something happen. As the Matadors are just going to have to get it to Gomez there. Or pass it across and reset.
A very unorthodox switching of the field, but they're going to appear to drop it back into formation. Keeping the shape, keeping the form back there. The back four has been, excuse me, Devin, the back four has been stellar tonight, preventing Corinthians FC from getting their counter-attacking opportunities.
Jake saying thanks for the shout out. Here's an awesome question from Trevor Lyons. Coach Gilbert, equal coach of the year, question mark.
That is a fantastic question.
I think he's got to be in the running, right, to see a club. Last year they did have a lot of success. I believe they went 6-4-1. I believe that was the final record for the Matadors. But, man, they went on a tear towards the end of the year. And I remember I had a stat going, John, that the Matadors weren't beaten in like 13 or 14 matches in a row. And that's over a season between the first season and into the second season before they lost to West Texas FC here 1-0. But you got to think, year 2 of a club, ranked 3rd nationally, the #1 seed in the South Conference. You got to think he's got to be in the running, right?
One of the biggest glow-ups for sure in this conference and the division as well. But you also have Duluth FC, 11-1-0 in the Midwest North Conference. Naples United is another team in 4th place. El Farolito West Golden Gate Conference, 9-1 and 0 in their season too.
We do
But
have-
that's good company to be in. To be considered Coach of the Year? Oh, absolutely.
Right. There's another substitution presented by Grease Monkey. Luke Jones going to take a seat. Checking in is Will Rodriguez. He's getting a lot more minutes as of late. He was something special in the first season for the Matadors. So you love to see number 12 out there getting some reps as he has the ball on his feet there and he fires and it's blocked.
Getting touches leading into Saturday potentially for Lubbock Matadors. It's 4-0 now, but there is plenty of football left to be played.
Yeah, Justin, to answer your question, why was it played here instead of an actual college soccer field? It does allow more for attendance. The Matadors year one averaged close to 4,000 fans, and I don't believe Texas Tech soccer field could hold 4,000 fans.
The Walker, no, not. I don't even think it could hold half of the numbers that we've had here, honestly.
So it's because of attendance. Matadors are pulling some big numbers, and they're one of the top dogs in the NPSL in terms of numbers. I know. I think it's Naples has pretty great attendance.
Yes,
I heard
Naples
like
was on that list.
I think 9,000 fans is what they average, and that's insane.
Naples United, of course, being part of the Sunshine Conference.
Right. Final score prediction. Trevor wants to know, John, as we are in the 73rd minute.
I initially called 4-1, so that's still on the table. I'm hoping for a clean sheet for Sam Gomez for sure, for his sake. But yeah, my scoreline was not far off. Great ball there. Great pressure up top.
Right, and you see the goal keep biting on it, and that's going to go the other way. I believe that was Will Rodriguez showing his leg power. Logan wants to know, if you guys win the championship game, would you open the other side of the field? I believe they would. If there was enough fans to warrant opening the other side of the field, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't, right? They would always open the door for anybody that wants to come.
Even including a visitor section. I would love to see more teams traveling out. Lubbock, I know Lubbock gets a bad rep in the Lone Star Conference for not being one of the most best sites to visit. But Lubbock does have a lot to offer in terms of tourism, and I would love to see a visitor section over there, too, if they opened it up.
The Arts District in Lubbock is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course,
there is not a single place to eat here that I wouldn't recommend.
I don't know about that.
No, there's plenty.
No, there's a lot of great places to eat here, but I definitely think in the back of my mind I could probably name a handful that I'd be like,
Yeah, that one's kind of iffy.
yeah. And I think every place is going to have something like that.
Maybe you're not eating at the right places, Devin.
Right. Trevor saying Hitch's other teams average a lot. Annapolis FC. Yeah, and I've heard about Annapolis as well, as they're starting to do the sway again with the Mozos.
Gio McNeil again on the edge there. Oh, great cutback.
Right. And firing from distance off to the right. No good. They're saying they should have the playoff games at the Jones.
That would be fantastic.
That would be
I
insane.
would love to see that many people. Another substitution coming in.
Yep, there is another substitution coming into the match. Mitar Mitrovic's night is done. Ezekiel Fidabel, is checking into the match. Of course, that substitution is presented by Grease Monkey. There's no substitute for great service for you or your vehicle. Go see our friends at Grease Monkey today. I agree with Frank. This is a great setup for the Lubbock Matadors as we are in a hydration break. Hydration breaks are presented by United Express. So yeah, I agree with that. There's still plenty of room here, and man, I think the more playoff games, the more winning that the Matadors do, the more the fans will be bought into this club and wanting to come see this place. And I say this every match: you want to come see this team. What they're doing here, they got the recipe for something special. I like to say they're cooking. And I think that's what my high school kids would say too in my classes, that they're cooking. But they have the talent. And
Let them cook.
Yeah, and it's 1 through 11. It's not one position is kind of not there. I think they're deep everywhere, and that's what makes it fun, especially on the defensive end. I love watching these guys go out there and make some big stops. Also, I love watching them put the ball in the back of the net. But the little things, especially on the defensive end, is what is what's getting the job done a lot of these nights.
What's important for unit cohesion here is that you have that level of depth. You have all these players getting those extra touches. You have the substitutions allowing you to kind of play a little bit more free with your formations there. Not that it's changed, but it doesn't put too much pressure on the team.
Right. We're about to get back underway. That was a quick break right there. A lot of these great comments, and we want to thank everybody for watching and interacting with us, because this is what makes it special. And we'll be back next on Saturday. Well, if the Matadors win. Yeah, we still got 14 minutes left in the match.
There's still some time.
John will be back on Saturday with a guest person, and if the Matadors win, then I'll get to be back, which I'm excited about.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm going to miss Saturday.
I'm looking forward to doing the play-by-play, taking your spot.
Yeah.
Will I bring the cheese? I don't know yet.
No, you won't. You won't.
Maybe. Probably. I'll do it for you. How about that?
Please?
A little bit.
Oh, Jake's saying, John, I'm waiting. Where you at, Jake? I want to see that arm wrestling match. That's what it
I'm
was.
not going to arm wrestle. We need to find a field, first and foremost. I have the ball. I have the cleats.
Oh, you're gonna go all out. You know what? I'm not surprised by that, because when we would play basketball, John and I back in the day, he would have the shoes, he would have the shorts, and all of it, man. He's in.
Hey, look good, play good.
You don't go halfway. You're all in.
No, never halfway.
And these Matadors are all in tonight as they're up 4-0 here in the 78th minute in their first ever playoff game as a club.
Lubbock cracked the seal, maybe cracked the code on Corinthians' defense within the first 10 minutes of the second half, scoring in the 47th and the 50th minutes. And it's just incredible that the messaging came through. Clear as day.
Right.
Attack, attack, attack. And for those Lubbock Matador fans that have been watching us on YouTube throughout the season, you know that's a staple of how they play. Running downhill, put the ball in the back of the net.
Jeremy Willis saying great job and enjoyed the coverage, and way to go Matadors. We're grateful for you, Jeremy, and everybody that's tuned in. Yeah, we wouldn't be on here without the fans. That's the truth. Another shot on goal, off to the left this time, and didn't go. The Matadors, despite having some new legs out there, are still having success and doing what they're wanting to do on both ends.
We talked about the depth, and that's a testament to it right there. That passed the eye test. Fancy footwork right there on the edge.
Kyle saying Cooper's a better atmosphere than the Jones. Fans are on top of the field. I agree with that. It's a more intimate atmosphere, and that's something I noticed the difference between here and Lowry last year. That Lowry has those huge hills on the side of the field, and you would think it would kind of trap some noise a little bit, but it didn't feel as like an intimate atmosphere where you're there with the team and the fans. And so I can agree with that.
I can only imagine what the pulse is there, what the pulse is like right there on the field right now. I was on the sideline for the beginning of the season, and you can just, it emanated from the crowd, just feeling and feeding off the energy.
People are betting on who's going to win the arm wrestling match. Jonathan says because you share a name, he's putting his money on John.
Let's go.
McNeil here, getting fancy with the footwork, firing again, but blocked as he shot from the outside of the box. He is a confident young man tonight, and he is playing his heart out for these fans and, of course, for his dad here in the stands tonight.
Letting loose. A little bit of a jam up in the middle, though. You'd like to see one of those from distance go in. That would be incredible.
Right. You know, if the players, if they're playing like they are, like McNeil is tonight in front of his dad, you got to think, man, let's load up all the families and get them here for the rest of these playoff games, right? Mozos continuing to grow as a fan club and a group to motivate and get the fans into the game. They started out with like a trumpet and a drum. Now there's multiple trumpets.
It's almost a full band out there.
Yeah, multiple drums. I believe they're doing I Believe We Can Win chant. But it's a group that has grown, and it's been so fun to watch this. And it started with a core group of like 4 or 5 guys, and it's grown to what it is today. And I expect for it to continue to grow, and people being proud to be a part of the Mozos, as you are, John, as you're rocking that red bandana.
I cannot imagine a match without it, honestly. The chanting from, again, minute 0 to minute 90 plus, they're there.
Autograph Alley is also more accessible without the hills in the way. Great way for the fans to celebrate and interact with the team, 100%. And I think, oh, and there's a great pass, and that's another goal. Golazo Matadors! Put it on the board, that's number 5. Strike up the Mozos and celebrate. The fans have had a lot to celebrate tonight, as that was a breakaway goal. I'm looking to see on the replay here, John, who was the one that put it in, because they were out in front and had nobody in front of them except for the goalkeeper.
Fantastic break. Perfect timing, hugging the back line like that to not be called offside. Easy 1v1 against the keeper, putting the ball in the onion bag.
I'm trying to see who it was that had that goal. I do want to say, I want to believe it's Vili Aloha. And it is.
Yep.
So coming in the 80th minute, or the 81st minute rather, Aloha gets the board, gets the score on the board, and it's now 5-0. What a performance. And they just announced the official attendance for tonight. I think they confirmed 5,422.
Well done.
That's tremendous. And when you see clubs doing that, man, that's big time.
It's promising for growth, especially just this being such a young team in its second season, and having an exponential growth like that is amazing. And you'd love to see that for all the NPSL teams too.
Right. Yeah, you called it, Trevor. It's 5-0. Any idea from Alexander if an NPL team can get promoted to the next tier? I think that's something that's got to happen during the offseason. I don't think you can win your way like other leagues where you can promote yourself by winning. I think that's something that's got to be done kind of during the offseason.
I think we looked into that last night too.
Yeah. We need to look in to see what's the score of the other match that we have going on between Brownsville and West Texas FC. John, if you want to take a look at that, I can hold down the fort on the old play-by-play.
Come on.
Would kick off on Saturday, be at 7:30. Also into the 15 FC2, West Texas FC1. And that ball went way out of bounds. There's no way that young fan is going to be able to get it anytime soon.
Good thing we have multiple ball kids on the sideline.
Yeah, 3 of them went sprinting over it like Usain Bolt trying to gather that. You know it's a race between them. They're all excited to go get it. That is true, Trevor. They can advance to the Open Cup if they win the conference, which is a big deal. As we are in the 84th minute now. Final minutes of this game and in this broadcast for tonight. Of course, we do have the playoff thing in here somewhere in my game notes. Have them all printed off. John's
I have it right here.
Why don't you read what the future entails for the Lubbock Matadors?
So the NPSL Lone Star Conference semifinals are tonight, and Brownsville is leading 2-1. Currently, Lubbock Matadors 5-0 in the 84th minute, approaching the 85th. So we have the semifinals here. The conference finals will be July 15th. The highest remaining seed will host the lowest remaining seed. And then we have the NPSL South Region playoffs. So 4 teams qualify from the Gulf Coast Conference, Lone Star Conference, Southeast Conference, and the Sunshine Conference. 3 of those are determined by conference playoffs. The Sunshine Conference, the only exception, and that is determined by regular season points per game.
The Sunshine Conference is the one that has like only 3 or 4 teams in it, correct? So there you go. You got the playoff lowdown from John. I think it continues on after that, doesn't it, John? I'll let you continue on.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, why don't you continue on and tell them what the road could look like if they continue to win.
So you have the South Region semifinals July 21st, hosted by the number 1 seed. They play the number 4 seed. The 2 plays the 3 seed, much like tonight's matchups for the Lone Star Conference. And then you have the final immediately after that. So July 21st is the semifinals for the South Region. July 22nd is the final. And
that
again,
is
you
the
have
next day?
That is the very next day. And again, you have the highest remaining seed against the lowest remaining seed on that one.
So there you go. There's the...
we do our homework, kids.
We do. And we were up really late last night because we want to be good for you guys. You know, this is it's important to us because we want to set the standard for everybody.
not necessarily, oh man, we were up late. It was more of a, yeah, we're up late. We get to do this.
Yeah, well, I'm up late because I have to wait for my kids to go to sleep to be able to do any homework. And that's when I can breathe and be like, okay, let's get to work.
It brings me joy to do this, to watch the game film, to check the stats, you digging deep, finding all the stories.
I find those weird stories.
You really do.
I don't find like I find those weird little golden nuggets that are like, this would be fun to talk about.
We're seeing more possession favor Lubbock in the last 10 minutes. Trying to carry over, and you see just Corinthians just walking back. The toll of their travel in the last 2 weeks, it looks like it's taking a little bit of them. Just heavy legs all across the field.
Absolutely, yeah. 4 games in 8 days is exhausting to think
brutal.
about.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's uncommon too. You only get something like that at the professional level if you're playing in different kinds of cups, like the Champions League or the FA Cup, for example, on top of your regular league matches. That's just crazy.
A deep shot on goal. That's going to go way over. Ezekiel Fittabel there, putting everything he had into that kick, and it went wide left on the American football goalpost.
Shout out to everybody watching us on My Lubbock TV.
Yes, and we haven't, and I completely forgot to give them a shout out too. That's our new platform that we're broadcasting on TV tonight, not just on YouTube, but we're people across the Hub City that get the chance to see this team on a new platform. And again, Channel 11 and their sister stations, we're grateful for them for allowing us to be on. Of course, John works for Channel 11, and so I was blowing his phone up to confirm everything with him about being a part of My Lubbock TV.
That made for an exciting morning, I can tell you that.
You were giddy?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was on top of that and figuring it out. And okay, what are we going to do for our broadcast? And we kind of got our notes together a little early yesterday, but coming into today, I mean, the excitement was at a high. There was a buzz around the station with this being the thing in town right now.
Well, yeah, and there was the buzz at the pregame party, which if the Matadors,
that party was lit.
Yeah, the DJ was on it, and there was a lot of people out there, and it was a tremendous time. Of course, those pregame parties happen before every home match, and it's on the street that's right behind the stadium, maybe like 60 yards away from it. And yeah, it was an electric time out there today. Go out there for the next match.
Oh. Sneaking behind the defense.
Yeah, that got poked behind him there, and I believe that's going to be a signature stag corner kick, signature stag, your one-stop man shop, and that looks to be Will Rodriguez with the honor here. Logan, that is correct. 5,422 was the total attendance for tonight. Michael saying shout out to you guys in the booth.
Hey.
Am I back on 2 o'clock over there?
You are back on 2 o'clock.
Okay, I had to cough, and I didn't want y'all to have to hear that. Best broadcast crew in the NPSL, says Alex.
I appreciate that.
You're the
Thank
man,
you.
Alex.
Thank you.
You're the man. What part of Texas is Lubbock in? We are in the Panhandle, the South Plains. I like to, whenever it's kind of hard to see because we're on the broadcast and nobody can see, but whenever I do this, and tell people where Lubbock is, I hold up my hand with the middle finger and the index finger up and the thumb out, and I point to it and I show them where it is on my hand. But we're on the South Plains, we're in West Texas, the Panhandle. Really cool to see. FC Brownsville is a question from Emerson Santos. I believe they were up 2-1 last we heard. And is that another goal? It is! Douglas Apaya finishes that one off, and he's flexing on the opposite end. And celebrating with one of his teammates that came from the visitor side over there. In the 91st minute, Douglas Apaya stretches this lead. It is now 6-0. Wow. I'm just going to enjoy this atmosphere and the moment right here. 6-0 after Douglas Apaya puts that one in. The fans in the comments are saying touchdown. That is 6. Give them 6. The Matadors are up. In the 91st minute. Tomas Gomez saying touchdown. Jordan saying best commentator. Thanks, Jordan. And that is another goal for the Lubbock Matadors. The goal differential for this team continues to skyrocket. And that was something that we honed in on, and that's going to do it for the ball game. The Matadors win 6-0, and they're moving on in the NPSL playoffs. They will be in the Lone Star Conference Championship game on July 15th. They'll be hosting. The opponent is still undetermined from what the comment section looked like.
We're keeping an eye on it. I've been searching the internet for the score. Haven't found live updates yet.
If y'all could let us know in the
shout out to
YouTube
Jonathan.
comment section, we'd love to get to hear that. As far as this broadcast goes into the 90th minute, 7+ minutes remain in the Brownsville game with the score of Brownsville 2, West Texas FC 1. So that game is getting close to the final minutes of that game. But John, for tonight's match, it's going to be hard to give a signature Stag man of the match because, man, these guys showed out. So many different players put the ball in the back of the net and were able to score tonight. I'm interested to hear who we're going to give it to.
Give me Stefan Morea. Just controlling the pace, controlling the midfield was one of the keys to victory I talked about at the beginning of the game. And he did it all, just making sure that Corinthians FC was on their heels the entire match. Anytime he touched the ball, dribbling through 2 or 3 defenders at once, laying out the nice little outlets.
Right.
It was incredible to see, and he had a goal too.
So I'm going through the stats here, and I want to confirm this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th game this season that the Lubbock Matador defense had a shutout. That's big time. Goal differential for the Lubbock Matadors. John, do you have a guess for it now?
What was it before?
It's 28. So now plus the 6, that is a 34 goal differential in 12 games. That means they're winning by an average of almost 3 goals a game.
And the games that they struggled to, again, facing adversity, having every type of game they've played this season, I think is propelling them so far. And again, top to bottom, Coach Gilbert all the way down, the execution has been there.
We saw a focus, we saw a drive, and we saw a team determined to leave a legacy. And that's what we saw tonight by the Lubbock Matadors. They came out, they threw the first punch, they threw the second, third, fourth, fifth,
They threw
sixth.
a flurry of punches is what happened.
We talked about a knockout punch tonight. The Matadors did that. They knocked out Corinthians after a great season. We want to tip our caps to Corinthians on a phenomenal season.
Absolutely.
They will end the year 6-4-2, and they, like John said, they were battle tested coming in today. 4 games in 8 days is really tough.
They showed the grit, and they put it to Lubbock in the first half, and it's just, you would love to see more in the tank to have a more compelling matchup in the second half. But again, hats off to Corinthians FC of San Antonio for playing as well as they did this entire season, not just this match.
We love it, we love it, we love it, says the comments, and we do love it. The Matadors continue on. They will continue to play in the postseason as they go into the fans, into the stands and celebrate with the fans. Sorry, John, I'm trying to take your paper here. So the next match, the Lone Star Conference Final, will be hosted by the Lubbock Matadors on July 15th. Make sure you get your face in the place on that day. And come and support this team because, man, that is for all the marbles, right? You won the regular season title for the Lone Star Conference, but now you can win the playoffs Lone Star Conference title, and, man, that would be even bigger for year 2.
Adding on to the accolades of winning the Lone Star Conference, claiming El Destico, and then winning the playoffs? Get out of here. That would be great.
So, again, we're grateful for everybody tuning in right now. Looking to see what we're about to have coming our way. Says, look at the board, 1 scores. We have all the goals ready for replay. Hey, let's watch the replays from all the goals that happened in today's game.
Let's do it.
We're going to have a pretty long replay here.
Right here in the 37th minute is when we can start our highlights.
Yeah, it was Pablo Diaz that got things rolling here, and you see him out front. He was way ahead of that defender. He fired, put it in the back of the net. What a beautiful goal, and what a way to start the game for the Matadors in the 37th minute. He continues to play really well. 3 goals in the past 2 games, and like our GM told us in halftime, he had 6 opportunities a couple games ago to extend that. It just wasn't there. Ethan Gio McNeil puts this one in, and it just rolled right on in. It was a big night for him.
He
because
played fantastic football tonight.
It was, yes. His dad was here, and he stepped up to the plate because here he is again, coming in the 50th minute. Just 3 minutes later, he was able to do it again off of the head, off of another head, off of a foot, and into the goal.
Hit every limb but the arm. No handball there. Great team effort there.
I believe that was Maria. My apologies there. Here was the other. Here's another goal here for the Matadors, though.
In the 64th minute, the onslaught continued right after that.
Right, because then once we got to the 81st minute, Vele Aloha made it 5-0. The comment section about blew up because a lot of people were predicting this coming out of halftime. And that was that one.
Way to slip into the back. Great through ball. Tight window.
And then the final punch, Douglas Apaya in the 91st minute did this and went and celebrated with his team. We called it a touchdown on the broadcast. Give them 6. The Matadors won 6-0. Jimmy saying, Devin and John, we love y'all. Great commentating. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like it's going to be FC Brownsville.
We'll wait for official confirmation on that on the socials.
Right, yeah, and we will wait for that. But if it's FC Brownsville, let's kind of talk about it a little bit because a lot of people are wondering about, well, who's FC Brownsville? If you're just now jumping on ship, they've played them once already this year here in Lubbock. It's about a 10-hour drive for FC Brownsville, but the Matadors won that match 2-1. It was a chippy match. A lot of people, there was a lot of fans that were voicing some opinions on what things were happening during that game.
That was the height of the struggle for the Lubbock Matadors this season, and coming off this win too, I believe they hosted that match.
They did.
Now they're going to be on the road, and it's going to be a different test for them.
In front of a even bigger atmosphere than when they came for that match.
Absolutely.
Because there was maybe 4,000 fans for that game. We're going to be we had over 5,000 today, 5,422. Hashtag big time. Can we reach 6,000? That's what I want to see for the next match. John will hold down the fort, though. But you got this, and I'm grateful that you're here. It is not announced what time the game will be on Saturday, but it is for sure Saturday. It will be the #1 seed Lubbock Matadors hosting either West Texas FC or Brownsville. According to the feed, it's looking like it will be Brownsville. I do want to mention our streaming sponsor for tonight one last time before we get off the air. Of course, our streaming sponsor is Mears Mazda Volvo, Lubbock's locally owned dealership. At Mears, you'll find the best inventory, the best process, and the best prices since 1971. Our focus is to provide our clients with an exceptional buying experience. Go see our friends at Mears Mazda Volvo. John, great stuff tonight.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic match. Got off to a slow start for both teams. It looked a little bit sloppy. Might have been a little bit of the nerves for both teams, but you saw an excellent result at the end for Lubbock. And again, hats off to Corinthians FC of San Antonio for playing outstanding football this entire season. Slugfest football. They put a little bit of a damper for West Texas against that matchup. They had a draw 0-0 there, I believe. And just played football that made you have to think, made you had to do a little bit more, and congratulations to them for making it to the playoffs this season.
Absolutely. Time for us to give our signature stag man of the match. John, I'm going to let you go first, and then I'm going to follow you up with probably a different man of the match.
I want to go with Stefan Morea just because of the energy that he brought.
Okay.
Attacking the middle, controlling the pace, and basically keeping Corinthians FC on their heels.
Absolutely. Morea, he is a you can feel his presence. You're exactly right. I'm going to go with Ethan Jiwa McNeil. I feel like that was the layup, the slam dunk, the alley-oop. Because he had 2 goals. He was really out in front a lot during this match, and he played a really big part in the offensive success that this team had. Same with Pablo Diaz. He did win man of the match for the last match. So I want to give it to Ethan Jiwa McNeil. His dad's here, and he showed up. He showed out in the biggest game in the history of the Lubbock Matadors.
I'm sure his father is proud after this performance tonight. Excellent work by Jiwa McNeil.
I'm proud of him, too. John, are you proud of him?
I'm proud, too.
Good.
I'm proud of the whole team.
Proud of everybody. Proud of everybody. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I think this is probably about to do it for us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
To our new audience on My Lubbock TV, thank you for dealing with our goofiness tonight. We're super grateful for everybody that watched us on that new platform. For our YouTube channel, what a fun night, huh? We had a lot of subscribers. We had a lot of new likes. John's about to
Did we get to our goal? Let's see if we got to our goal.
Our goal was 300, and it was a clean comment section tonight. Shout out to the comment section. We're super grateful for that, and we look forward to seeing you back here on July 15th. John has the update.
I'm looking.
He's looking at the channel.
We're still live.
We are still live. And so that's going to do it for tonight. For John Bocanegra.
290. We're 10 away. We're 10 away from 300.
10 away. For John Bocanegra, I'm Devin Ward and the entire Lubbock Cooper athletic crew that put on this show tonight. Thank you for tuning in tonight. The Matadors are 1-0 in the playoffs. They'll host again on Saturday, July 15th. We look forward to seeing you there. 6-0, the final score. That was a big knockout punch tonight by the Lubbock Matadors. Can the good guys do it again? We'll just have to wait to see. Till Saturday, though, we hope you stay happy and healthy. As always, go Matadors, and we'll see you real soon.
The Lubbock Matadors are all about partnering with local businesses and investing in the community.
Being a local business, it was really important to us, not only to support Dustin and his family, the Matador Soccer Club.
Three, two, one, ready, ready, set, go. Ready, ready, set, go. Set, go, set, go. Three, two, one, ready, ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. 3, 2, 1, ready, ready, set, go.
If you spent all day grilling and no one bothered to save you a burger, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Biscuits and taquitos and breakfast on a bun. Those are just a few of the things you can make a part of your morning routine at Whataburger. Then again, with so many choices, you could make a routine of not having a routine. But would not having a routine still be a routine? Chew on that for a while. Whataburger breakfast, just like you like it.